Hello. Welcome to the basement. Everyone's doing well. But it is that time. It is time to grab yourself something to sip on. Maybe light up something to smoke on. Sit back. Because this is the Saturday Night Chill. Hello there. Welcome to the basement and the Saturday Night Chill. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm actually doing pretty all right now. I hope everyone had a good week. How was your week? What up, Brooke? What up, T-Mando? Or T-Man? I don't know why I keep doing this. This T-Man does games. Yeah, what's up, T-Man? What's up, Brooke? What's up, lurkers? What's up, replay watchers? How y'all doing? Oh, by the way, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and just tap the like button. We're going to have fun. How was everybody's week? Or at a minimum, if the week sucked, how was everyone's Saturday? I went and saw Across the Spiderverse today. We'll be talking about it. And there's some other rumors floating around out there. You know, bits of stuff here, little bits of stuff there. We'll be talking about those. Got a pretty decent Saturday today, Brooke. I got to go watch a gas movie. I had work this morning, but got to see my grandson. Got to see Across the Spiderverse. So, pretty good Saturday outside of having to work this morning. But when I decided to start talking about actual, subjects, we're going to begin with the crappy and then move into the fun. The crappy being, I wish to speak more about David. What's going on? I wish to speak more about Mr. Lindelof's activities back in the show right Lost. Is I have a disturbing feeling that like there are still more writers' rooms like that than not. So we're going to speak on that for a bit, but we're going to do it first. Get it out of the way. After that, it'll be happy spider time. Because folks, the hype is fucking real. The hype is very real. But like I said, we will talk about that later. Yes, I'm drinking right out of a 2-liter. I'm a fucking caveman, in case you haven't been able to. Yeah. The hair that isn't here is elsewhere. Yes. Oh, and for the record, I am aware that I already did a video on it, which for this channel is done quite well. But since I feel like what happened is just really poopy, I want to make sure it kind of stays on everyone's mind. That way, we can parse through what corporations and their PR departments like to put out and actually, have an idea of what's going on for reals behind the scenes. What went on back then, which really wasn't that back. Okay, it was that back then. Damn it! My age. Oh well. But yeah, and again, probably maybe not to this degree, to the degree that's alleged in the book coming out that was excerpted. They put an excerpt of the book in the article. Yeah, I don't think you can use excerpt as a noun or a verb at all. It's not one of those interchangeable nouns. Like shit. Part. Why is all the dual purpose noun / verbs like? Why a lot of them have to do with body functions? Literally just now realizing this. Probably because I've had a gutter mind for so long. Like, they say you can't see the forest for the trees. Well, I couldn't see the sludge for the glut. So, yeah. Yet another thing fun about 4-letter words besides just saying. All right. May as well get into it. May as well get into her. So I went ahead and pulled up the article on my trusty phone. And like this is in total quite a long freaking article. And if I tried to read the whole thing, all 3 or 4, however many, you'd all go to fucking sleep. It'd be nap time, and I'd be talking to just this camera. So we're not going to do that. We're going to skip down to where the author of this excerpt from the book obviously, that she also authored. Yeah, what's the name of the book? Oh yes, Burn It Down by Maureen Ryan. Power, Complicity, and a Call for Change in Hollywood. I'm afraid to say that corporations only, for the most part, they do what's trendy and they do it at such a surface level. It's, if you think about it a lot, it's kind of insulting to people, honestly. Alan, what's going on, man? Um, I haven't lost it or spent it. I swear I'll put it in the mail this week. I have envelopes in my car and stamps. Yeah, I'm horrible. Sorry. Not quite as bad as Josh. Motherfucker's been waiting almost a year for some of his shit, but you've been waiting, well, 2 weeks now. And that's also just crap. So, first, my apologies. And second, I will get it in the fucking mail this week. That's, I'm sure you got like a Funko Pop or something that you got your eye on. You're like, I need that on my shelf. Is this fucker going to send me the card? When's he going to send me the card? This week. That's when that'll happen. This week. Yeah, well. I'm like a horrible procrastinator in the first place, so anytime I can work on not being one is, an opportunity I really should take that I'm, not taking right now. So, but yeah, in this article, um, Lindelof and his buddy, I believe Chandler Hughes, who's an old school producer and showrunner back in the day, like fucking early 2000s, is now back in the day shooting me in the face. But yeah, so I had it pulled up and then I touched something. Like, for example, this isn't Lindelof specific. This is just, just the kind of stuff that was just said all over the place in general in the studio and writer's room and what have you. One example, someone on staff was adopting an Asian child. One person said to another writer that, quote, no grandparent wants a slanty-eyed grandchild, end quote. They had an African-American actor's picture on the table. I'm not going to try and attempt his name because I will slaughter it. But yeah, someone said to move their wallet that was up on the table because he'd steal it somehow, taking a photo, but also, black. Oh yes, the only Asian American writer on the staff who happened to be Korean was just called that, Korean. Like, hey, Korean, bring me this. Hey, Korean, take this. Right. Oh yeah, here's a good one. A woman carrying a binder went into the writer's room, according to two sources, and a male writer asked her what it was. She replied that it was an HR manual for the studio. And his response was, why don't you take off your shirt and tell me about it? This is like 2004-ish. I don't remember exactly when Lost was out. But yeah, turn of the millennium. This shit. So, let me skip ahead. Just the Lindelof parts. Much as I'd love to spend time shitting on cues, he is not a figure that has been associated with any of our nerdy shit the way Lindelof was when he was in the process of uh, writing Star Wars. So. Sorry about that, folks. Like I said, this is a freaking long article. All right, here we are. So, the author of this article and also the book, here we go. We had 2 conversations for this book. All in all, I spent a couple hours talking about what went very wrong and lost. My level of fundamental inexperience as a manager and a boss, my role as someone who is supposed to model a climate of creative danger and risk-taking, but provide safety and comfort inside of the creative process, I failed in that endeavor. Talking about tokenism, he's like, that's what I saw in the business around me. So I was like, all right, as long as there are 1 or 2 writers who don't look and think exactly like me, then I'm okay. Yeah, so finally figured out that that was a humongous insult. Yeah. So he's taking a little bit of responsibility here. But a lot of this is, I don't remember doing any of this, but I'm not going to call other people a liar. Sabersmith, what's going on? We're just going over this article that shit on David Lindelof a few days ago. Let's see. Yeah. He says, I'll just see that the events that you're describing happened 17 years ago, and I don't know why anybody would make that up about me. You want it to go well and slowly. Brooke. Yeah, he said, I was shocked and appalled and surprised. And repeated, I agree with Damon was making it up. Just can't imagine how Elton would have said something like that. Or some of those attributions, some of those comments that you shared. I'm telling you, I swear, I have no recollection of those specific things. And that's not me saying that they didn't happen. I'm just saying that it's literally baffling my brain. So, yeah. So, like I said, you take a smidgy of responsibility, but also really didn't cop anything anyway. Like it was so long ago, I don't really remember. Um, I'm not sure what happened with Mr. Echo. That wasn't really addressed in this article. I do know that they were originally, the way they were going to kill him originally, and I didn't watch this whole show, so, but from what I recall, Mr. Echo is an African American individual. Yeah, he had to be, because they were originally going to have him strung up in a tree in the jungle with his genitalia chopped off and crammed into his mouth and down his throat. How they didn't realize that was basically a lynching is fucking beyond me, but at least one of the writers had the gumption to point it out, and they actually changed that scene. But that's just yet another example of what was going on in writers' rooms back then, and probably still is to some extent even today, even with the progress we've made. Um, opening up our minds and actually looking at things from other people's point of view. But yeah, change also unfortunately comes slowly. So as much as we would like instant change, like for all of a sudden people like to have an epiphany and be like, well, oh mother, what have I been doing? I've been a hateful prick. I mean, that'd be nice if like a bunch of people had that epiphany. It ain't gonna fucking happen though. I mean, like straight up, just real quick into the social thing because then I'm jumping right the hell off of this and getting into Spider-Man because that's a hell of a lot more fun. Um, like real talk. I think it's really probably aren't going to progress at a pace that most of us would like until the actual. I know people like to use the word boomer for anyone slightly older than 26. However, my parents' generation was literally the baby boom generation. My parents were born in 1944 and 1945. Coincidence? I think not. The World War II babies. That's why they got the baby boom. There's a bunch of soldiers coming home and a bunch of lonely women waiting for them, and giggity. So, thus, the actual baby boom generation, which is where you get the term boomer now for people my age, I would assume. But yeah, but that is the generation that definitely leans to the conservative side for the most part. There's some old hippies out there too, but much more few and far between. Um, but yeah, they're the real anchor on this whole thing. But they're also in their 70s and 80s. So now, don't get me wrong, the end of the baby booms were born in the 50s and shit. Granted, I know a lot of people in the 60s, obviously born in the mid to late 40s. Fine, that's still look at what the country was back then. You'll see they were definitely the minority. Um, but yeah, so and like I said, so there's the early baby boomers and then the late baby boomers who were born in your mid 50s. Um, those that whole generational group born in that decade to a decade and a half, um, those are ones that are really keeping. Uh, well, they're really keeping a large group of people from um, being able to not be dehumanized anymore. Saber. It's sad that I don't get brought up now when tons of workplaces have been are going on forever. But yeah, that's fucking facts. Like I cringe at work probably 2 or 3 times a week. But yeah, I mean, like I work at a very okay. Yeah, my workplace is definitely a red lean workplace. If you couldn't tell, I'm a bit more blue these days. So, uh, yeah, it's most of the time it's not so bad. Most of the time I just laugh at them. But sometimes I get some shit. I'm like, but you know, they don't go crazy with it, and so I just move on with my day. because I got enough stress in my life without alienating everyone in my fucking building. So I know it's kind of a weak ass choice. I freely admit it, but I'm also a Libra, therefore I ride fences. I'm very strong. Enjoy that visual. But yeah, like just in general, we need everything that's in. There he is. I haven't gotten back to the Spidey news. I've been getting a little bit social with the Lindelof stuff. Let me do a thing. Are you just wanting to chill in the chat, or do you want to hop on there, mister? Oh, fuck. You know what? I can have up to 5 more people. Let's just have fun. I don't care. I just dropped the link. That is the actual link. We'll get you onto this stream. If you have what you feel is the required equipment and the gumption, like I said, I can get up to 5 more people on here on my free version of StreamYard, because I don't have a big enough channel where I need to pay for this motherfucker, or want to, or can. Remember when I said this hair is now other places? Well, guess what? It itches sometimes too. I'm like a bear. Like, my back itches. Like, I work in a tire warehouse, so like I turn into a bear there when my back itches. I just find some tires with some aggressive tread, just like a bear on a fucking tree. So yeah, again, that's this thing. Anyone that wants in, up to 5. Okay, well, now it's up to 4 more people. I'm gonna wait for you to sit down, little Sparky. So now it's up to 4 more people because Harris is jumping in. But yeah, we can just hop in. We'll just all chit chat about fucking Spider-Man the rest of the night, because that's what we're gonna do. We'll start with some comments that have been made this week in interviews at premieres and shizzle. Hurry up, redneck. Yeah, I fucking said it. All right, you're good.
I'm a little redneck. I'm from the swamp. I'll take it. I've been dealing with all these Californians all day. I could use a little redneckness, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Whoo.
How's it going, man? Cool. I saw your I didn't actually watch it yet, but I saw that you saw Spider-Verse the other day, so
yes. Did you watch Spider-Verse though?
Did I? Yeah, I went and saw it today.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I dropped a pre-theater short and a post-theater short. So we're going to talk about that shizzle. Oh, and by the way, there's a very good chance it's going to get spoilery, folks. So yes. Stick around for that conversation at your own risk. But in the meantime, Amy Pascal's been talking about future Spider-Man shizzle. Did you hear about this shit?
I've seen headlines and have been doing play stuff all day, so I've not. I haven't seen or read anything actually.
All right, so she was being interviewed, obviously at the world premiere of the Across the Spiderverse, and she basically confirmed there's going to be a live-action Miles Morales movie.
Did she give a timeline or anything, or just kind of blanket statement?
No, she's she's given the same line that people pretty much have to give now, which is after the writer's strike, after the writer's strike, after the writer's strike.
Yeah.
But yeah, evidently once the strikes are over, she's going to start kicking that shit into motion. So
Well, that's good news. You'd kind of expect it after this movie, honestly.
yeah, but here's my only thing: Sony doesn't do live action for shit. At least
Yeah,
not
they have the
lately.
same team. Yeah, can they put the same team on it, please?
Yeah, I know. Just like, why don't you just take Lord and Miller and be like, all right, you're awesome at animation. Let's see how you do with breathing people.
Yeah, no, for real. I honestly, I love Lord and Miller, and I think they're really talented. But the thing that was scaring me was that it wasn't them coming back to actually do it. And it was like these three new directors, and I mean, like legitimately. I'm sorry, I'm pulling up your stream so I can see what people are saying in the chat.
Yeah,
But
you don't have that option at the top right just to click public chat or whatever?
is that a
Yeah, because it's like private chat, and then there's a button next to it for public chat. And you can even type in from here on StreamYard. You don't even have to type in on your phone. Well, you might have to type in on your phone still. I don't.
You're telling me I've been doing fucking Sidetrek for like over a year now, and I'm just figuring out about it? I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world. I always have YouTube just popped up on the side, and I comment from there.
I guess you're today years old when you learn that. That's what it's
You
looking
learn
like.
something new every day.
Well, that's a good day though. Anytime you learn something new.
That's true. That's true.
And
Well,
yes, Sabersmith, there's a shit ton of really good reviews for Across the Spiderverse, and they're all true. Like, believe it or not, the hype is fucking real, bro.
like that's like it's so good. Like that's what I was trying to say was like those three new directors coming in. I was like, okay, well, it's not Phil Lord or Christopher Lord and Phil Miller, whatever the hell their names are.
Yeah.
Well,
they wrote it still.
Yeah, they still wrote it and produced it, and we're definitely a big part of it. So, I mean, it's got their touch and everything. But these three new, I say new, but they're just new to Spider-Verse. The three guys did freaking phenomenal. Like, I've been talking to people about it all day because I keep going in and out of these plays. I produced one and I've been to two others today. So I just seeing people and talking about stuff. And the thing I keep saying is it's the best Spider-Man movie. It might be one of the best comic book movies ever made. And as of now, if I had the vote, I would be voting it for Best Picture. Like 100%.
I mean, yeah. But there's one other cool non-Spider-Verse thing. And that is, what's his name now? Tom Holland actually has been quoted in an interview as saying, up until the writer's strike, they had already started some discussions on what they were going to do with Spider-Man 4. And they paused the discussions to, for solidarity's sake while the strike's going on. But ideas are already, jotted down in notepads and shit. So
good.
Things are moving in the Spider-Verse, live action and animated. It's pretty cool.
As they should, honestly. I mean, I know people love No Way Home. I'm not. I don't adore it, I guess, as much as most people do. I still think it's a really solid movie, and it's definitely above par, especially what Marvel's done since. But connecting just the one line of Peter going, it's all math, and then everything we saw in like the whole like quantum arachno whatever, the Spider-Verse. It made me happy.
Well, I mean, fucking No Way Home, basically, between that and Multiverse of Madness, those are like the two that basically kept Phase 4 from just going.
Oh, completely. Like, as much as I enjoy some of the TV shows and like bits and pieces, like that, if they would have just had the TV shows and not have those two movies come out, Marvel might be dead in the water right now, like legitimately. Yeah. Which is weird to even say, but like they might actually be. What day are we on strike?
I was just trying to look up to answer Sabersmith's question, and one of the headlines I just saw is Snoop Dogg postpones Doggy Style anniversary concerts due to writer's strike. So Snoop is standing in solidarity with the writers. How about that shit?
That's interesting. I mean, because that's performance stuff. He doesn't have to do that by
Yep.
any means. Uh, I mean, good, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Looks like 31 or 32 days, I think.
It was like May 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, somewhere in that timeline, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. First
I
week of
don't
May.
get that one. Mm, okay. One day count, though. Oh, it's already got its own Wikipedia page. All right, yep, 1 month and 1 day. May 2nd is when they went on strike. So 31 or 32 days. Well, May has 31 days, so 32 days.
Mm.
This is day 32.
And honestly, I felt every single one of those days. It doesn't feel like it's been a month, but I felt every single one of those days at the same time.
Yeah, it's been wild. Just like at first, everyone's like, "Yeah, they'll probably get settled quick," and then it didn't. And then now it's like every day, or at least every couple days, there's a new headline about this is delayed now, this is delayed now, and this is shut down for now, and this is shut down for now, and that just is going to keep piling up.
Yeah.
We're gonna like if the writers stay on strike long enough for SAG and
Which
the BGA to
I
join
just
them.
Googled SAG votes in 2 days on it. That's going to be the big tell right there.
I knew it was early June. I just couldn't remember when.
The 5th.
Oh, okay, that's the 5th.
Uh-huh.
So they're voting Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Oh, wow.
Bright and early. I'm betting it goes till Christmas. Ooh, I hope not.
I don't think that long, but I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe celebrate Labor Day with a new contract.
That's plausible, yeah.
I can definitely see it going all summer, no problem.
Because I'll Google it while I'm thinking about it. When's the PGA strike? Or when was PGA even vote? I guess
DGA, I'm not sure on the directors.
PGA's right next.
Are they next? I thought SAG-AFTRA is next.
Yeah, SAG-AFTRA's next, then DGA, and then PGA's after. But I mean, they may,
They'll be moot at that point. I mean, once SAG strikes, the town's shut down, like just shut down.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do besides like literally reality shows, and then
yeah, I mean, like animators can still animate because that's not writing.
Yeah,
FX people can still create on their computers because they're not part of any of those guilds. I don't think. I think all the tech stuff can still happen.
Yeah, that would make sense.
At least like the tech stuff. Now, like set builders and shit, I'm pretty sure they got their own union. So
I don't think so.
No,
they may though.
I feel like the Teamsters are in and around like the buildy parts of Hollywood.
Well, actually, you said Teamster Union or Tech People Union?
I'm talking the Teamsters right now for the people that work behind the scenes, like set builders.
Oh yeah, like all the drivers and everybody. The Teamsters are definitely part of a union.
Yeah.
I think the tech stuff is where like unions don't necessarily like fall apart per se, but like they're just not as pertinent or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a. I mean, if Disney keeps pissing off VFX houses, they might form one at the.
But honestly, they're probably so happy right now. They're like, we have 6 months to work on everything that we want to work on. We're gonna have the best looking things in the next year. And then it's gonna go back to like half-assedness afterwards. But we'll see. It depends how much the studios actually give them.
Cat 4, I think, was done enough that they're just in post, so they're actually, I think, still working on that. I know Thunderbolts is delayed.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you after that.
Yeah, Thunderbolt's already been announced as they're that's on hiatus until strikes are done. But I think they were just about to start post when the writers went on strike, so they could actually be doing a little some kind of cleanup on the effects and or the editing at this point. So
Well, now that Victoria Alonso's gone, they have a lot of time to work.
yeah, for sure. Cheers. Yeah,
Uh,
thank you for those effects in Quantumania.
oh,
Mm,
the Oscar-worthy effects of Quantumania, of course.
yeah,
Thor: Love and Thunder and Quantumania had, I think, the best VFX I've seen in any movie, maybe ever. I mean, just so great.
please don't make me throw up on my microphone.
Could was the sarcasm not oozing out of my pores there?
Oh, it was very much oozing, but like just even the thought of that sarcasm is.
That I mean, for as bad as the Quantumania just CG was in parts, it's nothing compared to that one moment in Thor where the kid like visions back in, and it's just it's like people complain about the prequels looking like they were made on Microsoft Word. That looked like earlier than prequels. I mean, oh god, it was bad.
Dude, I just watched Revenge of the Sith on the Disney Plus the other night, and like you know how it begins with basically that entirely CGI fucking space battle where Obi-Wan and Anakin are flying in. I'm watching that, and the picture is was sharp enough on my laptop where I'm looking at that. I'm like, I know this was early or late '90s, so we're so much far past this. But I'm like, damn, that's like video game.
Yeah, I mean, like what? Phantom Menace was 999, and Revenge was 05 by the end of it, which means they probably filmed it in like 03, 4, and had that year after.
I think it was every. Ooh, no, don't do that.
Because Lord of the Rings was back to back, 99 to 02, and it was 99 or 2000 to 02, and then Star Wars was 99, 02, and then 05, I think.
Yeah. George put them out every 3 years, so
yeah. I mean, just because people complain about Phantom Menace looking the way it does, but then literally, like you just said, you get to the opening sequence of Revenge, and you're just it's not perfect, but it's quite close in many ways.
I just thought it was funny that today's screen technology, just on a computer, was enough to where I could really, really tell it was CGI. You know, like it just looked it like. I swear, a couple of the animators got lazy because some of the the propulsion fire that coming out of the space fighters looked a hell of a lot like the propulsion fire you got back in fucking The Last Starfighter, which I love that movie, by the way. That movie's great.
They could have just reused an asset, honestly. It very well might have been.
Yeah, but I just thought that was kind of amusing because George created ILM just to do Star Wars, and then that ended up being a leading effects company, well, basically since '77.
Legit, like they've made. I love going back. Do you ever watch Corridor Crew, like the VFX artists react?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I mean, you're a movie guy. You'd love that stuff. They're a bunch of VFX people, so they have like a studio out here in LA, and they're young, mid-30s kind of deal, but they moved out here probably about my age now, like mid-20s ish, and they've literally the last 10, 12 years had their own studio and lived out and everything, and now they have like Adam Savage and like Tim Miller, all these different people coming in here to talk to him about all kinds of stuff. The guy that like drew Mushu from Mulan and a bunch of other things, he came in there.
Nice.
But
I can't imagine the lack of sleep they got getting that shit going though.
Honestly, they're a pretty well-oiled machine at this point.
I'm just saying though, when they were getting going, they had to have been grinding that ass off.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, they're releasing like I think every Sunday they release a technical video, but then at least every other week they have an actual like a short that comes out too, and an actual cool video aspect of it. It's really cool. You'd like them. They just got a lot of cool stuff, good insights into like how things are made too, which is fun.
Cool. Let me address some chat.
Yeah.
All right, Sabersmith storytelling Jedi Survivor was almost better than any TV we got. At least I thought so. I'm only going to disagree with you on one thing. Is the word of the use or the use of the word almost. You drop that, and I completely 100% agree with you. The story in Jedi Survivor was better than anything we got on Disney Plus in the last couple of years.
So good.
Like I could like one of these. So I'm going to find somewhere, and I'm sure it won't be hard because I haven't actually searched yet. But I'm going to find someone that just strings all the cutscenes together, and and basically just going to watch a Survivor movie and skip all the obstacle course.
Honestly, it feels so Georgie. I love it. I was talking to the playwright that I'm producing for. His son literally came up to me like 16 and was like, I gotta talk Star Wars, like we gotta talk Star Wars. And I think I was sitting there 25-30 minutes just talking Star Wars Jedi Survivor with him, and I was having a blast. So it's just so
That's
good.
awesome.
I was surprised because I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they prefer Fallen Order over Survivor, but the kid he's like, yeah, I love Fallen Order for this, and this, and I was like, okay.
I think most of the people that would say they like Fallen Order over Survivor probably like the platforming better. Survivor is like American Ninja for the whole damn story, it seems.
The platforming took me out of Fallen Order, honestly. I almost put it on story mode a couple times. I was just like, just give me the meat.
Right?
Yeah. But no, Survivor was just so good. I literally, I think whenever I played it, I finished it in 4 days just to kind of like grind it out, and
nice.
For 2 days after that, I think I just came back and it's not Sabak. What is the like chess game that they're playing in there? It's so good.
Sabak's the card game. It's their version of Texas Hold'em, basically.
It's I don't remember exactly what it's called, but the thing in Greece is Cantina, where you're gonna go like fight against people, but on like RPG.
One Chewie cheats at, or he'll rip your arm off.
Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. That having Boba Fett come in that game too was just great. Great little detail. I don't know, man. I can't wait for a third one.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a dope ass trilogy conclusion. Jesus. Forgot how to fucking talk. David says, if SAG joins the strike, is there any point in Comic-Con this year? Because what are they going to show or say? This is what you could have had, or you'll see this in about 2 years. For me, I don't see too much of a point, because if the actors are on strike, you can't even bring them out to pimp for you or make you look good. I personally don't know why they would bother having panels at that point. Although Josh over at the Den of Nerds is quite insistent that Feige's going to come in there guns a-blazing anyway. So we'll see. But at least for me, I've already heard that DC's canceled a bunch of shit. Warner's canceled, or DC Amazon, I think's canceled a bunch of shit from their presentations. So we shall see. But for me personally, I agree. I don't see a fucking point in it.
Yeah, fingers crossed for Stargate at least.
Yeah.
But I see that thought process, but at the same time, I think of it a little differently. Like 20 years ago, Comic-Cons were not about what movies are going to be announced. This is literally the first time a Comic-Con might be able to be a Comic-Con again, It's just people coming together to celebrate comics. I mean, Comic-Cons are not Comic-Cons. They're movie cons now, Yeah. It's kind of separate. Enjoy the comics. It allows, I guess, people to get back to the basics, which is
right.
A little necessary right now.
Yeah, I can totally feel that for sure.
But that's also my happy I can't even talk English. Happy optimistic self, trying to just make something good out of it. But
right, yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who does what. I mean, honestly, if there is anyone who would come in there guns a-blazing, no matter what, it would be Feige. He'd come in there with his blazer and his ball cap and just start dropping badass shit on the screen for us, just like you did, last year.
You mentioned Den of Nerds. He's going to come in there and white Suge Knight it like Feige does.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
That always cracks me.
God, he calls him that.
Yeah, no, him, and I. There's a chance Stargate would still do it just because of all like the technicalities that they could still play around with, just being a Canadian production typically.
Oh yeah,
but I think Feige's still more likely than them.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the whole, Canadian or American labor union thing, I honestly don't see any of them breaking solidarity, even if they're technically, not part of it.
Yeah,
I just don't see
it's too close. Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so like I said, well, when is that? Is late this month, right? Like June 20 something, or is it July 20 something?
For
San Diego.
For the it's late this month. Because next year's July, I think.
All right, it's a race. My phone versus the chat.
Wednesday, July 19th.
July. Okay.
Okay. So maybe we had it backwards. July this year, June next year.
Oh, okay. So mid-July.
That's not bad.
All right, so we got good 6 weeks, maybe 7, just off the top of this shiny thing right here.
So I have 6 weeks to get enough money to go hang out in San Diego and
right,
party up. I'll just
live
on the beach for a week. It'll be okay.
I mean, if SAG's going to vote Monday, they could potentially be on the line on Tuesday. That'll only be June 6th.
Don't quote me on it, but whenever I was trying to look up the DGA stuff, I couldn't get like an actual date. It seems like the DGA is already in negotiations, and their like actual vote ends on June 7th, where SAG starts on June 5th.
Okay.
The DGA would end on June 7th, and I guess their decision is also going to play a big deal, obviously, but.
Yeah, I mean, if the directors vote to strike and then like SAG literally does 2 days later or whichever order that'll go in, but like within 2 to 4 days, literally the entire population of your studio is going to be gone, except for the people behind computers. So, given that, so that could happen potentially by the end of next week.
Yeah. And at that point, you don't keep studio lights on, you send people home.
So that'll give you be like 6 weeks from there to Comic-Con. I can see the strike ending in week 4, maybe, getting everyone back to work with 2 weeks to go. Maybe.
Fingers crossed. That'd be nice.
Maybe. I can see a scenario where that would happen. I totally can. Really, it's going to come down to... And I've started to see this, and I think it's basically confirmed. It's going to come down to Netflix. Although, did you see their shareholders told their executive package to fuck off?
Really?
Yeah, the shareholders voted against the proposed executive pay package this year.
So is that like in response to everybody having to share accounts now and pay for the shared accounts, or?
It could be that. And I'm thinking it's a combination of that and it's pretty much known that Netflix is the one holding all this shit up anyway, because they're being cheap, and even more importantly, probably for them, they don't want to let those streaming numbers out. They don't want people to know what's actually being viewed and how much. So
realistically, they're the only people that need things to stay the status quo, because everybody else has working relationships with studios and theaters and theater owners and all these different things, but they don't. They're the only ones that really don't. Even Apple's kind of still far enough removed where they're releasing things in theaters, but just a little bit, and they're not as tied down to streaming the way that Netflix's entire business model is that. It's based on what the status quo is already. So this strike itself legitimately changed the company at its core, but we'll see how it played out.
Yeah, honestly, I think once the studios get emptied, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of back channel pressure on the Netflix from like the studios.
That makes sense.
Like there will be a shit ton of back channel pressure. We, if we hear about it, it'll be on Twitter and it'll be rumor.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee that won't be a rumor. They'll be called a rumor, but it won't be a rumor. Like that's really the only way this shit gets done. Like for the most part, anyway.
Somebody hears something somewhere, and there's, for the smallest film production set, there's 70 people on there half the time, if not 40, 50, and like I did an indie movie background a couple years ago, and there was 60, 65, 70 people on there, which is kind of where that example came from. And then I was in season 2 of Euphoria and little bits and pieces of that. The smallest amount of people on there on a day was maybe 600. You had 300, 400, 500 background people, and then the rest of the crew,
And yet these people think like they can stop leaks.
Yeah. Oh, and that's not even saying Winning Time. I stopped doing background work. It was good cash, but I stopped doing that work in general for Winning Time, that Lakers show, because it was awful working conditions. I mean, I don't. It's easy as can be. You're sitting still all day, but you are sitting still for 16 hours, and then asked to come back within 12 hours, and that's not technically legal in the way like everything works out here. But long story short, it was those were a minimum of like 1,200-1,300 people days. Like you would have an entire arena full of people, and it was just a lot. How are you not supposed to have a leak happen when that's like literally the status quo for everything Marvel does? If you have a new country, like if you have Wakanda, you have to have Wakandans. Quantumania, you have to have Quantumanians, I guess, or whatever you say.
There we go.
And, like they just have to fill out so much. And if anybody hears anything on that set, we all got one of these and we all got Twitter.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with this one. I too hope Iger can handle this better than Chapek was handling things. Although, from what I'm given to understand, Iger was still fairly active in the background, and it wasn't always in Mr. Chapek's favor either. So there's that.
I kind of feel I don't, and Disney still hire me one day, please. I'm just commenting on the YouTubes, but I honestly I kind of feel bad for Chapek. He definitely put things in motion and that weren't what the public wanted, and obviously they weren't. But who told him to put those in motion? He was following orders from Bob Iger, and I don't think everything he did was on his own volition at all. I think everything he did had to have like layers of red tape to go through, and the biggest layer of red tape was always Iger. I think Iger set everything in motion, and now he's supposed to pick up the pieces. He's one of the most talented CEOs that this industry's seen in a long time. But it's a young man's game. This guy's in his 70s. Get him out. I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Front offices, government. It's time for the genuine baby boomers to sit the fuck back.
I like I said, he's a great CEO, but I think once again, especially y'all, like Lucasfilm, please hire me one day. But the issue with Kathleen Kennedy that people like just gloss over is, they get so bogged down in this or that. She's an excellent executive producer. She's great at what she does. She just doesn't know Star Wars, and she doesn't care about it. Same thing like Bob Iger doesn't know movies, and he doesn't care about movies. He cares about the business aspect of it. And hey, I'm from oil country. I like ExxonMobil's headquartered where I'm from. Like I like money. Focus on making money. Yes, it's a product, but it's also a piece of art, and you got to focus on the art just as much as you do the actual monetary aspect of things. And it eludes Disney at this moment. I think from the top to the bottom.
David, Netflix, by charging more for password sharing, have shot themselves in the foot. Hope they suffer. Never forgiven them for canceling Dark Crystal. I respect that. And also, yes, I believe that. Yeah, and dropping that policy like right around the time that they're holding up the fucking strike is not really I wouldn't call that good business savvy.
No. They were like, we're just gonna piss everybody off just a lot more real quick. And just instead of cherry on top, they just turned it to the knob to 10, you know?
Yeah. And they're looking for another outlet to plug another something in. Jesus.
That's true.
Fucking Netflix. I swear I'm going to stop paying them money. Except they have too much bullshit.
That's the thing. It's you throw enough spaghetti at a wall, some of it's going to stick, and some of that spaghetti is really good.
Some of it is. I feel like Iger doesn't like bleeding money, so I have faith. Also, Chapek hated animation. You know what? True.
Yeah, both those are very true.
True.
Under Chapek, we got Marvel's What If, which I still think is the best show they've done so far.
What If is really, really good. Like
it's the only show they have that has had consistency from the first episode to its last. Everything else is just there's at least one or two episodes that are jarring, I feel like, you know?
Right. You know, What If is dope. And really, What If is done I would say is one of the keystones to establishing the multiverse in the first place, especially since they used it as a basis for their Illuminati and Multiverse of Madness.
1,000%. And honestly, the best they've, including No Way Home, I think it's the best thing they've done multiverse-wise since, or so far, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, No Way Home is... You know, I wonder how much No Way Home would have been loved if Phase 4 was more like Phase 3. I'm not saying it was a bad movie, because that movie is fucking sick. Love it. But I'm just wondering how much of the love came from such a lack of anything good, for the most part, prior to that, with maybe the exception of Shang-Chi.
No. You know, Shang-Chi was also, I guess, we mentioned multiverse and No Way Home, but Shang-Chi was there. Shang-Chi did well.
Yeah.
The third act is a little CGI fuckery, but what isn't, you know?
I'm basic. Anytime I find a weakness in CGI during Phase 4, I'm automatically going to blame Victoria Alonso.
That and just the Marvel formula. I understand sticking to the formula, but hey, let's switch it up. Every third act doesn't need giant skybeam or giant CGI monster. That's not like A or B. You don't have to choose one or the other. There's a lot of gray area to pick, and they have a lot of talented people to do that too. But I understand playing it easy, but you play it easy and play it safe this much, we get Phase 4, you know?
Exactly. Well, also Kevin being more hands off, we got Phase 4.
Yeah, very true. It's Victoria Alonso was like his second/third, whichever is kind of interchangeable. But what's the other guy's name? He's still there. That was like
Nate Moore.
Nate Moore. Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember. He's more not necessarily like focused on a specific thing like animation or CG or something like that. He's a much more all encompassing as well, right?
Yeah, no, he's Kevin's voice at times around the Marvel Studios in general. He's also a lot of people find him to be a lot less picky than Kevin in certain situations, so they're like hoping he is somehow not the successor, even though he, at this point in time, he is the successor.
Yeah, who else would it be? The only other options would have been Victoria Alonso or James Gunn.
Yeah, I have no idea. Spaghetti might be good, still won't stop them from canceling it. I mean, that's Netflix will cancel shit at the drop of a hat. They don't give a fuck.
And they just let some things keep going too, which make no sense at all.
Might we be talking about, I don't know, Witcher?
Who else?
Like, see, I don't know why they're even bothering with season 4. Like, I don't know why. I mean, if they want to loot, they're literally just they're throwing money into a paper shredder with season 4.
I have no idea what the actual like thought process is behind everything, but obviously Henry Cavill had a season 1 through 3 contract that he signed up front, and that's what's getting him out of the contract. I would think the reason we're getting a fourth and fifth season would be like Lauren Hisrich, the showrunner. She probably had like, because she was still pretty new whenever The Witcher came out, so she probably had like a 1-year deal or something, or maybe like a 2-season deal. Because I think they renewed season 2 like before Witcher season 1 came out too. So maybe she had that like 2-season deal. And on the second season, it still got a lot of good views and numbers, and people liked it more than, not necessarily more than, but at least it made more sense linearly wise. So they got a lot of views still. Then maybe she got another contract extension for another 2 seasons or 3 or something, and that might be what I feel like is screwing them up. And Netflix was like, "Well, we're going for it."
Yeah.
Plus, the spinoff that was so bad. That was so bad. I just feel like they might feel the need to continue, even though.
Well, good luck, because no one's gonna watch that shit.
Yeah.
You guys seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer? It's getting a good buzz around it. Yeah, I actually saw that. It was one of the previews at the Across the Spiderverse show, and yeah, it looked dope. It looked seriously dope.
I'm not excited for it.
I mean, I'm not like, woo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, I'm not freaking out about it, but I do think it looks dope.
Yeah, I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just want them to go the dark route. I don't want the little kiddie stuff. It was never meant to be that, and the only reason it ever became that was for the sake of money. And like I said, I like making money, but you got to have a little art with it too. And that's where the soul came from, you know, the Ronin aspect of things. I mean, that came later, but that samurai kind of mindset. And the turtles are all very serious. Besides, like Michelangelo, you know, like he's supposed to be the comic relief, not all 4 of them and Splinter and Bebop and Rocksteady and everybody else. You know, I don't know, but I'm gonna go see it nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to see it in the theater or not. Definitely, if I do, it won't. That's not one I'm like rushing for opening weekend for. It'll be like, oh, okay, there's nothing else to watch this weekend. Turtles will be cool.
Turtlemania. If it's good, if it's great, you know. I fingers crossed it's still that way, but
yeah. Well, I mean, this month is busy as fuck. I don't know what comes out the last weekend, but obviously we have Across the Spiderverse this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend we get Transformers. The weekend after that is The Flash.
Yep.
And then I don't know what the weekend after that is, because I'm gonna be wore out after The Flash. Oh yeah, Indiana Jones.
Is that's the first weekend of July? Where's it the last weekend of this month?
No, I think it's the first weekend in July.
Oh no! It's June 30th.
Oh no shit. Okay, well then there we go.
Technically, the first weekend of July, really. But the things that come out at the very end of the month on the June 23rd. It's nothing big like that. I don't know if you're a fan of Wes Anderson, but he's a Texan, so I got to go see everything he ever does. And he's coming out with Asteroid City then, and then No Hard Feelings, that Jennifer Lawrence comedy, which looks actually funny.
What's he done? Because I'm pretty sure I know the name.
He did Bottle Rocket way back then, but his big things have been like the Grand Budapest Hotel, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Isle of Dogs. He did The French Dispatch, which is his most recent film. He did The Royal Tenenbaums, which is probably my favorite or second favorite of his. He did the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, or of Steve Zissou. And he's great. He's that guy. Have you seen all like the little AI things that are like, look at Dune like a Wes Anderson film, or Matrix like a Wes Anderson film? If you go on YouTube and just Google like a Wes Anderson film, you'll have 30 things come up, 50 things come up. It's like the popular thing right now, because he has like a very, very particular style. Everything's perfectly like parallel. Everything's like very neat, pristine, very colorful, like popping wise. If you've seen a still from those movies, you'd recognize one of them. You'd be like, okay, I've seen that. Or you haven't.
He's a cinematic cubist.
Oh, of course.
Is Flash another multiverse film? Yes,
Which
very much so. That's why we have Batfleck and Michael Keaton in that mug. That's why we have Sasha Calle. Well, it's one of the reasons we have Sasha Calle instead of Henry Cavill. That's why Ezra Miller's playing a bunch of different Ezra Millers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's supposed to be Flashpoint, but from what I understand, the comic one is insane.
Oh yes. I'm glad they didn't end up calling it Flashpoint, and it's just the Flash because I mean, I hope they don't get to Flashpoint anytime soon. That's something that just needs a lot of like care and consideration, you know.
Right.
And this is a fun version of it, I guess, to change the status quo of what was to what is, but give us a good Flashpoint like in 7-8 years or something. I'd be a happy camper. But also, where's your excitement for Flash? Because I was super hesitant, but just as excited as I was hesitant because of all the good news and all the good talk around it. But after Spider-Verse, I don't know if multiverse can top that. And that's I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I still think it looks really flipping good. But yeah, I'm totally still in the Spider-Verse afterglow right now. So it's going to be a hard compete. I mean, it's 2 weeks away, so we'll see. But yeah,
in those 2 weeks, I might go see Spider-Verse another 2 or 3 times.
Right?
It was so bad. I bought a ticket to The Little Mermaid yesterday because one of my friends was like, you go see so many movies and you review all these things. Like, tell me what your thoughts were. And I'm like, well, I have yet to go see it. And I got to the movie. I fell asleep within the first 10 minutes. Not because of the movie. I was exhausted. but I when I bought the ticket, I literally, my finger was hovering over Spider-Verse. I was just like, I could just go see this again. And because I was exhausted, I was like, just in case I fall asleep.
Right.
We'll go Mermaid. And
here we go.
It was inevitable. Once that thought went in the brain, it was.
Brooke's been typing. Hopefully Flash is good. Might be good for Ezra Miller to end a troubled career on a decent note, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, although, what's the fucking director's name?
Andy Muschietti?
Yeah, although he's talking like if there ever is a Flash 2 that he won't direct anybody but Ezra Miller and stuff. And I'm like, bro, Ezra's done after this. There will not be a Flash 2 with Ezra Miller in the suit. It's just not going to happen. Deep down.
I mean,
and even if they had not been misbehaving so much, he's still Snyder carryover. So Gunn is going to delete him anyway. So one way or the other, Ezra Miller's career as the Flash was going to end after this movie.
This was like that kind of, I can get rid of Batfleck and Flash, whoop, and just toss them out. Which hopefully they do in a really cool way.
Yeah.
Because a couple other co-hosts on my channel are huge Snyder people, and not the biggest at all the times, but I do enjoy his stuff. But at least give homage.
It's not per the DCU plan by James Gunn. Yeah, totally feel that.
Also, I feel like that is part of where the excitement level for me has gone down. Was like, okay, this is going to lead into the new stuff, but like it probably won't. So like it is that very neutral film, and now that there's another multiverse movie out at the same time, that even if Flash is going to be really good, there's no way it's as good as Spider-Verse. And I don't know if Spider-Verse is going to be infinitely better, but it's going to get me to go back to that movie theater maybe infinitely more times than I would for someone I don't want to be supporting. I'll go give money once to go like, okay, I'm going to check this out. The studio needs a little love. All right, let's try it. But I'm not going to go give them a second ticket or a third ticket. I'm waiting. I don't care how good it is. They don't deserve that money. Them or the studio. Sorry, Warner Brothers, hire me one day too. But like,
yeah,
I want to produce stuff too. Like, this is not how a producer should be handling things. And all of the producers DC at least, just last decade have been. I mean, it's a revolving door, so it is hard in that aspect. But none of them have done anything like smart in a decision making, I guess, way.
Right? Yeah,
They just try to
they're
push what other producers are there like out of the picture, and it's just a lot of infighting, and it's just
yeah. Like no one, they couldn't get past their competing visions. No one wanted to give their shit up.
and whenever that bleeds into Warner Brothers itself, which it did, like, look, they don't even have Christopher Nolan anymore, and they got rid of Christopher Nolan. Like, that's how much Warner Brothers is like, well, we're trying something new. You know, like, good luck.
Oh, fuck, dude. I get to see Keaton as Batman again. I'm in. Eating for Keaton. Fuck yeah, dude. That is honestly one of the main draw points for me, is seeing Keaton's old ass as Batman again. That's gonna be so dope.
Who's your favorite Batman in general?
Bale. The Nolan trilogy is the pinnacle. And Heath Ledger's Joker is the pinnacle. I'm sorry, Jack Nicholson, you are awesome with Keaton, but Heath is my guy now. He is the Joker.
I'm an old soul with that one. I'm still and I think Heath Ledger is absolutely amazing, and I think his Joker is like maybe one of the best characters ever put to screen. And the Joker was that character prior to him portraying it like that, but every Joker since has been kind of written more along those lines. I feel like just strictly comic book wise, Jack Nicholson, even though he was Jack Napier, and that's not comic booky necessarily, I think Jack Nicholson's Joker and Michael Keaton's Batman are just the best for comic book purposes. Where like the actual better films, of course, are Nolan's trilogies, and they're all great.
You ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?
Which one of my Ahsoka sabers should I grab? I can fight back.
No, I was just gonna vote for Jack.
I should know that. That's I almost said Obi-Wan's. It's not Obi-Wan's, obviously. Whose saber is that?
That's Return of the Jedi, Luke.
Ah, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Takes me a second.
Yep, that's Return of the Jedi, Luke. Not feeling the excitement for Indiana Jones, at least not as much as I used to give her. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I love me some Harrison Ford, just in general. Not just as Han Solo, not just as Indiana Jones. He's made any number of awesome movies. His turn as what the fuck is his name? Jack, whatever, for the bitch. Movies, Patriot Games, and Clear and Present.
Oh, it's not Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan, yes.
That's one of the Jack Ryans. Okay.
Yeah, because it was Alec Baldwin in The Hunt for Red October.
Yep.
Then it switched to Harrison Ford for Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger.
And there was one other before Cruise, right?
Then it switched to who's the one? It was him and Morgan Freeman, I think, and the one where like someone was going to nuke a stadium. I can't remember what that one was called.
Oh, that's right. Whoa, Affleck was one at a certain point.
Was that Affleck?
It says Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck. Oh yeah, Ben Affleck with Morgan Freeman. I should have remembered that. And then I guess what threw me off was I saw Chris Pine too. I completely forgot Chris Pine was.
Oh yeah, he was like, wasn't he the most recent one other than What's His Fuzz on the TV show?
Yes, Krasinski. I'd forgotten about Chris Pine's. Just they were decent. I guess they just kind of were there too.
Did you have more than one? Later, Alan. Have a good night, man.
See ya, man.
I swear I will mail this to you.
He did it with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Nolan trilogy, hell yeah. I would definitely watch the first one. You can go without you can go without the second one. I mean, it's fun, but I mean,
I love it.
it's I mean, I love it. It's campy as shit, but that's also like the thing that makes it awesome is also its biggest problem. It's campy as shit.
Yeah. Well. See, I don't feel like that one hurt that movie that much. I feel like them adding that camp to it was the reason Batman Forever, and then obviously Batman and Robin just kind of went better than there.
Nipples.
Although I am a Val Kilmer apologist.
No, I like Val Kilmer's Batman actually, but yeah,
I don't know why they chose George Clooney to switch him up with. Just let Val Kilmer do it again.
Bat
Nips.
Yeah, Bat Nips. That movie was just bad on every fucking level, except for Uma Thurman.
I'm Batman. It's so bad.
Widowmaker.
I don't know if I know that. Air Force One though is one of my favorite all-time
Air Force
movies.
One's great.
The Fugitive is also amazing.
What Lies Beneath? Yes, that movie is fantastic, and that one got me. I did not see him being the perp at all.
He's done so much more than you think about. Sometimes you just go back and you're like,
Yeah, it's just when you sit down and think about it, you're like, oh fuck, he was in. Oh shit, he was in that. Oh wow, he was in that too.
Because he seems like the guy that'll take like, okay, I'll do a role and I'll take a year or two, and then I'll come back to the role and I'll do something else and something like that. But he stays busy. I mean, what? He just jumped into TV acting and he's already done 1923 and Shrinking.
Yep.
Like that's insane. And
he's old too. He's about to be Thunderbolt fucking Ross in the Red Hulk.
Fucking Ross. It's gonna be so cool.
Oh, dude, I am so stoked for his version of Thunderbolt Ross. I think he's gonna be dope.
I loved and I adored William Hurt. William Hurt was an amazing actor. If they would have given him more to do, I think the role would be not refillable. But they didn't give him all that much to do.
No,
so give us Harrison Ford. Like
I mean, the most he did was in the. I guess it's canon. What's his fuzz? Not the Ang Lee Incredible Hulk, but the other one.
Oh yeah, the original Incredible Hulk. I don't even the Louis Leterrier one. Yeah.
Yeah, the one with Ed Norton instead of Eric Bana.
Mm-hmm. Or old Ruffalo.
I did not like the Ang Lee one with Eric Bana. I did not like that one at all.
I like the cast, and I tend to like a lot of Ang Lee stuff, but that one was not it. That one was not it.
Yeah, I know. Well, he had done Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. He'd been riding that wave, and he rode that right in the Incredible Hulk movie, didn't he?
Yeah, because that was right before that, right?
I think Hulk was right after it.
Hulk after.
Yeah, because everyone was like, "Oh, Ang Lee's doing a Hulk movie," because everyone loved fucking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, including myself. It was a dope ass movie. So everyone's like, "Yeah, Ang Lee doing the Hulk. This will be sweet." No, it wasn't. Not at all.
And for such different reasons than like things are bad for today. Like that was like one of the things I think that hurt it was obviously like the dogs and stuff at the end and all kinds of just like maybe sci-fi concepts where it just went too like sci-fi with it, which that hurts to say because I love my sci-fi concepts, but
yeah,
you gotta ground it.
Well, and that, I mean, there's a lot of sci-fi in comics, but it's still not sci-fi. You know what I mean? There's comic sci-fi, and then there's sci-fi.
Yes, because technically comics all fit within sci-fi, and they technically all fit within fantasy. And I guess there are some that are very much one or the other, but generally they're just kind of.
Yeah. I mean, like your super techie shit with your Starks and your Richards and all that stuff. There's your more strict sci-fi shit.
Yeah, and you got your Zatanas and your.
Then you get over into like your Morbiuses and your Blades and your Doctor Stranges, and then that's more the fantasy side.
And there's room for it all, thankfully.
Yes, like honestly, the whole magic versus tech thing is really the only thing that intrigues me about Ironheart whenever the fuck they get that out.
Yeah, that, and then the fact that just Sacha Baron Cohen is going to be there.
Mephisto.
But that worries me just as much as it excites me, which I hate saying because I love him as an actor, but just like that over the top kind of funny has just been what's hurt Marvel lately, and I think typical Sacha Baron Cohen, like him in like Dictator or Brothers Grimsby or whatever. I don't think that's the one you want. I don't even think you want Borat kind of vibey kind of thing. You almost want him in like his Les Mis kind of.
Yes,
Yeah, if that makes
for
sense.
sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, that totally makes sense. You want him. You don't want goofy. You don't want the goofy guy. You want a dude that's actually acting like a fucking demon.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think it was a Dinner Nerds video, which I'm sure you would have seen. But isn't it rumored at least that Mephisto's the guy that bought Avengers Tower and not like some King variant or some other like techie person or anything?
Yeah, that's the newest rumor. Is that Mephisto in some kind of human form with a obviously a shit ton of money because he's a demon. He can get whatever the fuck he wants. Um, yeah, he bought Stark Tower rather than the Baxter Foundation or somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Fight
Oscorp,
Club and
whoever.
Seven in Class. Yeah, both excellent movies. A couple of Brad Pitts, Ed Norton in one of them, Morgan Freeman in the other.
That's one good thing that I mean we're all just raised in different times, yada yada, and we all have different I guess things taught based upon being raised a little later. But I was so happy. I think junior year was whenever we did Fight Club and read about it in high school, and then we did a Clockwork Orange right after, which
Ooh,
which was great to just dissect and decipher with a bunch of other 17-year-olds and one person just kind of like, all right, here you go, and explain this to me real quick. And you're just like, what? How am I supposed to explain this? And you can try, but it's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's fun.
yeah, yeah. I love both those movies are great. I've watched Seven more than I've watched Fight Club though, for sure.
I think I'd be vice versa there, but they're both great. Little Fincher. Uh,
All right, but seriously, fucking Across the Spiderverse, bro. It's time to dive in. We gotta get into that motherfucker.
okay, I'm in. You know I'm
We've
ready.
got to get in that motherfucker. Like, I
Oh,
know there's going to be a certain segment of people that are going. And by the way, again, one more warning. We're about to get spoilery because I'm like talking about this movie. I'm not being all vague like a reviewer. We are talking about the movie. So if you have not seen it and you don't want random details injected into your ear holes,
Spider-Man dies.
but yeah, if you don't want random facts about the movie injected into your brain cells, then I will miss you, but you should probably check the fuck out now. And also, thanks for watching.
Come watch later. Pick up where you left off.
Yeah, yes, of course. Definitely fast forward through the shit you know about on on the replay, and then see what you think about what we say after you've seen the movie. Excellent idea, sir. Thank you. This guy.
I don't know how these things work.
But I the dive into Gwen at. Okay, let me rephrase that. Starting off with a look at Gwen's backstory from Jump, like before they even got to Miles, I didn't mind it. There's going to be a certain segment that's going to be and fuck them, but oh, all right, man. Yeah,
See ya, David.
David's in Jay's time zone, so.
Ah, that's right. Oh, good lord, I got that right here. It's 3:38 a.m. in London. What are you doing, David? Sleep, my friend. You got to be there for Sidetrack tomorrow.
Get some rest. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. Again, thanks for staying up late with me. It's awesome. I really appreciate it, bro. Have a good night.
Very much.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Doing good, Brooke. Also, you said Crouching Tiger, Hidden. I can't even say the thing. I'm reading it. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is a pretty good film. Yes, yes. I watched the re-release a couple months ago, right before like Return of the Jedi was re-released, and it's still
nice.
Check it out. Check it out. But you were saying,
what do you think of that? Just with them just going, not even starting with Miles, but starting with Gwen. And then
I thought it was great.
Yeah,
that was also a long introduction. It was a long intro.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got, whenever like the title credits came up, I was like, oh, we haven't gotten to this yet.
Right.
We were in the movie, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was, and not only, I think, obviously, it's very different in tone than Into the Spider-Verse, and I think all that intro sequence is like what really like sets our mind into the tone that we're going to get into. It really sets the pace and the aesthetics of the film, you might say.
Definitely.
I liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was an intriguing and interesting choice, and I'm glad they made it.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it a lot. And it turns out, I noticed as the movie went on that like the family dynamics that they were going to work with in this movie, they also set that up in that sequence too. Like it was okay. You were actually looking. I thought you froze for a second, like
no. Just looking at it real fast.
But like basically that whole intro segment when you got the surprise credits, and I was surprised. I'm like, oh fuck, okay, yeah.
We've been sitting here for 25 minutes. I thought we were in, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like that intro basically set everything up for us. Like all the family dynamics ended up pretty much feeling like that, even if they weren't like, didn't go exactly the same way, but they all had that same like intensity to them, all of them. Mm-hmm. Like you said, the aesthetics were set up with like the animation style and the color palettes and stuff like that. Although it was dope how like when people were not getting along, they had like a darker background, and then when they started making up, it lightened up. That was fucking cool. Like
it was so cool.
But yeah, like that intro, I would say completely prepared us for the rest of the film, and not just because it gave us Gwen info, but because it was done in a way that like, it basically showed us a taste of everything we're going to get a full mouthful of later.
Literally, like you just said, like they introduced with inadvertently. They didn't technically introduce it, but they were like, okay, Captain dies or something bad happens to the Captain. This could happen. They with that also happening in the intro, they technically introduce an anomaly. An anomaly happens whenever Captain Stacy's like literally deciding, oh, well, she's gone. I'm no longer captain. We don't necessarily see that whole mental process happen, but if we watch it again, I'm sure we can check the animated character's face and we'll see the thought process is moving. But they put every aspect into the film in that, which is exactly what you want out of intro. It's perfect, honestly. I don't like they could have. The only other thing, or the only other way to incorporate that into the film would be to take it all out and piece it into a bunch of flashbacks for Gwen at certain points.
Yeah.
Which would make it feel less like Miles's movie, and it would just, it'd be jarring. And
no, they did it the right way, doing it that way. And then I liked how like every spider person that even got a minute was like, I'm so and so, and I'm the only spider whatever in my universe.
It's like you think it would get old, and then it just gets funnier every single time.
Yep.
You get to Oscar Isaac finally going to his part about oh my god,
replacing Dad.
Yeah. What's the character's name? I'm blanking.
Oh, Miguel O'Hara.
Miguel. Oh my god, there we go. I knew that. Oops. But that whole thing, I was like, okay, we're getting into like what the fifth frickin' one at this point. Mm-hmm. And then of course they turn it on its head again. Very different character than the rest of the Spider-Man, and it just works perfectly because
yep.
The filmmakers did so well. They're like, they know where we're going to be thinking and know what we're going to be thinking at this time, and they're like, all right, twist it up a little bit.
Yep.
Not too much, just enough.
For sure. Spider-Punk, bro.
Oh, Daniel
Hobie.
Kaluuya is
Hobie.
Hobie's. I mean, he's a great character. I got one of those collectible tickets because I went to a 4DX screening at the first thing, and I love this side.
Nice.
But that's the real side right there. We've got to be a little punk rock, you know.
Fucking Spider-Punk. That was great.
Spider fucking punk. And
Peter B. Parker's such a gomer.
But he's great too. Honestly, Jake Johnson as Spider-Man. Please, it's so good. And Mayday was really good too. I loved Mayday, and honestly, the one MJ scene, that one scene with MJ was great.
Oh yeah, that what the little family moment over the crib and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty dope. The Middle Eastern Indian Spider-Man.
I don't remember his name, but Moonbatten was freaking great.
Yeah, that was such a fun sequence. Holy crap. That dude was hilarious too.
And he was really funny. I like the whole those Hindi bracelets that he wears and throws off and swings around and stuff.
My first thought was, Ms. Marvel, what the hell? How'd he get fucking Kang Tech too? Like what is going on? Is this shit just laying around India?
Maybe they could. It's Marvel. I mean, they could do something.
Say they didn't have any of the intricate detailing, but the shape was basically the same. The color was basically the same.
That's true. I haven't seen Ms. Marvel yet either, which is bad.
Rook dropping science.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Could be.
Not Hindi, but
yeah.
They're very similar cultures, but very different at the same time. I guess no, Sikhism is probably closer to Taoism, I believe. I'm not that religious. I'm not the person to ask.
I'm my expertise lies more in Western religion. Honestly, being a preacher's kid. So
I don't know.
And here I am on YouTube talking shit about nerdy stuff. Drinking Pepsi straight from the 2-liter and smoking doobies.
Opening up Spider-Man talk by diving into Gwen's.
I know, right? It's Haley Steinfeld's fault. She's got a great voice.
It's a great voice?
Well, insofar as that movie's concerned.
Yes. A great performance, voice. That's what I was going for. I don't know what you're talking
about. Live action, that's a whole nother subject entirely.
That could be a couple.
And also, fuck you, Josh Gordon. So,
hey, Florence Pugh's pretty good herself.
Yes.
I was not clapping whenever I heard that Zach Braff and her were breaking off and stuff. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yelena Belova is very, very attractive. She looked very, very good.
She actually had a good Russian accent too.
Yeah, she did.
Her and David Harbour, I think, and obviously Rachel Weisz is always great. But that was their film. It was really theirs.
Who was I watching? I was watching someone on stream. I can't remember if it was making Star Wars. I think it was making Star Wars, but it could have been the hot mic. But somehow it came up where dude's talking about he loves Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz, and I'm like, yeah.
Yep. It's just yes.
Just yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah.
Correct.
And Rachel Weisz is one of those lucky women that just look better as they get older. She's one. Michelle Pfeiffer's one. Who else? There's another couple of pretty good examples out there, but it's crazy.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. But yeah, there's Yeah, there's women that age like fine wine for sure. Rachel Weisz.
Mm.
I mean, even Rachel McAdams, she's not a spring chicken anymore. Was it Roca? Thank you, Sabersmith. Um, but I mean, we've been watching her in fucking comedy since the '90s, back when what's his fucking name? You can do it. That guy was still riding Sandler's coattails into a couple of his own
Uh,
feature
uh,
films,
uh,
and
uh, 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 Rob Schneider.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rob
Uh-huh.
Schneider, when he had that one where he traded bodies with Rachel McAdams, and
I had forgotten about that because I mean, I'll show you. I'm a young buck. I was born in '99, so I've never known
oh
a
right, I
film
keep forgetting that.
life
So
without Rachel McAdams.
you know, born in '99, Jesus.
You know, I get to say that I've at least been at two different centuries. You know, I've been
Yeah,
living.
that's true. Yep, you caught the tail end of the last one.
Definition of the tail end, but not I was at the peak of the tail. I'm like I'm near the scut, as they say, the perfect itching spot on the animals.
What are you, around a Christmas baby or something?
No. I'm a February baby, so I was
Oh,
like at the beginning of '99.
oh, all right. So
Mhm.
yeah, you got 11 months of Prince action. It was cool.
Yeah, good time to be a little infant. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. So yeah, Rob Schneider.
I I agree with what Brooke just said. You'd be able
Yeah,
to
I
tell
just
us a
saw
little.
that. Yeah. Well, my adulthood in the '90s really didn't start till like '94.
Hmm.
So, oh no, '93. That's when I turned 18. But yeah, definitely. Well, right, I turned 25 in 2000, so I spent literally my early 20s in the
Oh hell yeah! So you were literally like, I
through
guess
the mid to late '90s, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
you were a year or two older than me now than whenever like Spider-Man came out, Raimi's original Spider-Man.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
was that? Just like at a, I mean, obviously I grew up on that. Like, just that's one of my like growing up movies.
Oh,
But like,
dude, I was
I
in the
was
theater
7
for all three of those motherfuckers.
Oh, of course.
I was in the theater for all three of those, and yeah, Tobey Maguire was a dope ass Spider-Man. I mean, fuck the third one because that movie was ass.
Yeah, just focus on Sandman. You could have had something magic there,
But yeah, the first two were fucking magnificent.
I mean, Spider-Man 2 was my favorite Spider-Man movie up until Spider-Verse, the first one.
Right.
And then it was kind of interchangeable when you just had to ask me at the right time, and then it might still be, you know.
Yeah.
But
right.
after this one, it's Across the Spiderverse.
Yeah.
It's Spidey.
For sure. Yeah. No, that Tobey Maguire #2 that was definitely peak comic booking for its time, for sure.
I mean, there's a reason we still talked about it up until like, I mean, we still talk about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd watch Spidey 2 over most of Phase 4 or just about anything that DC put out.
Easily
Mm-hmm.
over most of Phase 4.
No, old Spidey, old X-Men, just as good as anything. DC
I love the original cast Fox X-Men. You know that Disney Plus took that shit off, except for they only have The Last Stand on there right now. Of the
That's the one they
three.
keep.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, don't get me. I don't have anywhere near the level of rancor for that movie that a lot of people seem to have. I dug it when I saw that in the theater too.
Yeah, I saw that one in theaters too. I'd love it. That was what 2009, 10ish. So I was 10 or 11. I was ecstatic. I didn't learn to not necessarily dislike it, but I didn't look at it in like a viewer standpoint versus
Right.
like I'm just watching a movie until I was a little older and I was like, okay, well maybe it's not as good, but
right.
It still led to Days of Future Past, which might be the best X-Men movie or one of the, or maybe behind X2, you know, like it's up there. Or Logan. Sorry, Logan's just up there. Logan.
Yeah, Logan. Well, you know what? I feel almost like Wolverine's solo movies can just kind of be over here in their own little Elseworld anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because the first one is just him basically up to like whatever the hell 3 Mile Island crash. So like late 70s, early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole second one was, the whole second was basically in Japan, and he fought the Silver Samurai.
Which I really like that one. Obviously, it's not nearly like Logan, but
yeah, no, that was entertaining. That was a fun one.
It was still Mangold.
Yep, but then there's Logan, which is just
perfection. So good, so good. That's still
on Disney Plus.
Okay, really? Okay, good.
Yeah, Logan is still on Disney Plus
because that's still in the conversation of best comic book film ever.
Oh yeah, adapting Old Man Logan was just magnificent.
And they could have adapted Old Man Hawkeye, and they just didn't. And that's what I was hoping, but it's just another stream.
Well, I mean, they could now.
They could.
I saw an article where Renner's like, "I'm ready."
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you sure, bub?"
Well, okay. My sigh was a little bit anti-devil's advocate-y, I guess, because I'm up for it. I think he's an amazing actor, and I don't care if he has to be less physical. Put Renner back in there because he's one of the best legitimate performers and actors in the MCU, and has just been criminally underutilized until they gave him his own show. And they didn't criminally underutilize him in that show, but they underutilized him in that show, nonetheless.
They underutilized a lot of things in that show, like writing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I love the guy that plays the swordsman. I love Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop. Lucky the Dog was good. You brought Kingpin back. You got Vera Farmiga in there. You got everything you need. You've got the puzzle pieces, and then just make it a pretty puzzle. And it was kind of like a jumbled up.
Someone took the puzzle pieces, dumped them on the floor, shuffled them around a little bit, and slapped a bunch of Scotch tape on them, flipped them over. It's like, here's what you got.
It's like, it works. Well,
there it is.
Art is subjective, but sure.
Yeah. You can see Spider-Man did see a new. See, when A New Hope came out, I was a toddler. I was born in October of 75. New Hope came out, May of 77?
77,
Yeah, so New Hope came out, I think a couple weeks, was it beginning of May? Because oddly enough, my sister was born on May 31st, 1977. So she and New Hope are pretty much the same.
Yeah, because it's not May 4th, but it is I think it's May 8th or 10th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's still in early May. But yeah, so yes, A New Hope and my sister share the same birth month and year. But so yeah,
Is she a Star Wars fan?
I wouldn't, not really. A little bit, and that's mostly just due to me force feeding it to her. But yeah, so I was an infant at that point. Was it 80 or 81 for Empire?
81 and 85 for Return, right?
I believe so, yeah. But yeah, I didn't see any of those in the theaters. I did see, actually, I think Return of the Jedi was the first one I technically saw, and ended up and that was because we were over at my cousin's house for Christmas, and they had HBO. So yeah, I got to see Return of the Jedi was actually the first Star Wars movie I watched. The other two, I'm like, this whole thing is dope. I love this stuff. First time I saw Vader, I'm like, yeah.
This is terrifying. Well, you see him and then you hear him and you're like, huh. You're like, all right. Samurai guy coming at you, and then James Earl Jones' voice to match is just perfection.
No, I haven't gone to see John Wick yet, damn it. Yeah, I know. I know.
It's okay. I think it's. I don't. A lot of people don't like the third one, which is kind of wild. Not that they don't like it; they just don't like it as much as the first, and maybe even the second. Where I'm more of the first is the first movie, and it's great, and it's my favorite John Wick. Yes. No, I don't know.
I like Parabellum.
The which one?
Parabellum. That's the third one.
Oh, Parabellum. Yeah. See, that's I almost had to correct myself because it's one of those depends on the day kind of things where I love Parabellum, and I really like the first one. And the second one, I really, really thoroughly enjoy. I just don't like it as much as Parabellum, and I don't like it as much as the original. I would put John Wick 4 right above the second. And that being said, they're still like all 8.5 and above for me too. You know,
Right? Yeah.
they're amazing.
It's like, okay, which one is the slightly cloudiest diamond? Is
Yeah,
basically where
yeah,
that's at.
and it just happens to be the most common one.
Right. So for you, it's 1, 3, 2, 4.
And sometimes 3-1. No. It's 1-3-4-2 or 3-1-4-2. But this one was just. I mean, I one of the things that does, I guess, push it down a little further is you can feel how long it is. I did.
Yeah, I hear that's like epic length. Isn't that like a full 3 hours? Like full 3
it's like
hours?
2:45 or 48, I think. It's up there.
Yeah.
And I did make the mistake where I love seeing things in 40x. One good thing about being in LA is there's 40x theaters, and you can like go sit in it, and it feels like a freaking roller coaster. You know, that's how I saw Across the Spiderverse, which was insane.
That must have been. See, when you said 40x, I'm like, okay, well, that just sounds cool as shit. I didn't know it was like a fucking amusement park ride in the theater, basically.
Oh yeah, no. You remember like back in the day, like you go to like Disney World or Universal or something, and like you go sit in one of those theaters, and they have like the bugs crawling on the back of your seats, like in Bugs Life or Ants or something like that.
No.
Okay, well they had like that was like 4D way back when, and they might have like a spray come out like for a smell, or something like that, where they don't do that as much anymore because people can be allergic and shit to them, which makes sense. But now it's literally turned into where rows of seats are about 4 or 5 seats, and then there's more, of course, stacked up next to each other. But you have 4 or 5 seats. You have to literally climb into your seat, and you better put both feet down and sit there. It'd be nice to be strapped in, but the 3 best movies I think I've seen on it, not including Spider-Verse, which I might have to go see it again with it, just to kind of like wrap the feeling of it around yourself. But both the Avatar movies, Avatar 1 and 2, just because you're flying in the air, you're literally gliding along with everything that's going on. And then underwater in the second one, and then Top Gun Maverick.
Oh God, yeah.
You're taking off with the planes and landing with the planes, maneuvering with. It's so cool. But Spider-Verse, it's boring, and you know, there's a lot of parents that are in there that they don't necessarily know what ticket they're getting. They just grab a ticket for them and their kids. They were thrown for a freaking whirl, which was great. But it was insane because you're literally. I don't know how to describe it besides just swinging around with them the entire time, or getting pulled, and every time it pulls, you kind of get jerked forward and all kinds of stuff. And the fights, you feel a lot too, because I saw Creed 3 in 40x, and that was interesting because you don't move around as much, but every time someone gets punched, you're getting kind of hit in the back a little bit, so you're kind of part of the movie. It feels like. And John Wick was the only one where I would say like I enjoyed it, but whenever I hopped in that theater, most of that theater was like 40 plus, you know. I would probably be one of the younger ones in there, and most 40 plus aren't going to go see roller coaster movies all the freaking time, you know. Which was the funniest thing. There was this one dude at the very front row that hopped in the seat, and the commercial started doing it, and this dude literally had to hop out of the seat, and he goes, turned around the theater and just raised his hands to everybody and said, "Bear with me. It's going to take 10 or 15 minutes for me to get used to this shit." And we all just died. It's just like I didn't expect.
That's hilarious.
I'm not prepared. We all just cracked up. But as cool as it is, and as great as it can be for a lot of movies, John Wick 4 was a little bit much with it because this dude's. I mean, you've seen him fall off of buildings. There are times he falls off of buildings again. It's jarring. It's jarring. But it was still really good. It's still really good. Ooh.
Are you talking like each film made more than the previous one? I think that's what he's getting at.
Because I wouldn't necessarily say John Wick's gotten better with each film. They're all.
Well, if he's talking box office, then yeah.
Yes. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Like any name I come up with, any name. Yeah, right. Any name I come up with is going to be a total guess, but maybe Back to the Future, and maybe Nolan's trilogy. Although I don't think so. I think Dark Knight Rises fell off.
I still like Dark Knight Rises more than Batman Begins a lot of the time, though. Not necessarily more than, I guess. I just appreciate them in their own ways or whatever. Well, that's subjective too. Is Lord of the Rings? I mean, Fellowship is arguably my favorite. It just depends on the day, but Return of the King is amazing, and then Two Towers it's left out because it's that middle kind of child, but it's so damn. It's so damn. I mean, literally has some of the best fight sequences ever. Has maybe the best fight sequence ever right before Battle of the Bastards came out. You know, it's just phenomenal. I know. I'd have to think about that one. Oh my god! I don't know if y'all can hear that. My neighbors are revving their cars right now.
It hurt a little bit.
I got a bunch of fruit trees. I just go start throwing limes at them. You know, chunk it over the fence. See what happens.
I don't want the fucking total. I want each individual movie, you hoe.
No, yeah, I was about to say the younger cast of X-Men because it went from First Class to Days of Future Past, but then it went to Apocalypse, and then it went to the Dark Phoenix, and just.
See, I don't hate Apocalypse or the Dark Phoenix. Obviously, they're definitely weaker than the previous two.
Mm-hmm. See, the only thing that I really don't like Dark Phoenix that much is just too simple for to try to be where it is placed. I guess if that was one of their first movies, I would have been like, oh, not too shabby, you know. This I might watch the next one. But being where it is like great. Okay, it's just kind of died out. Part of that's just because it's Simon Kinberg's directorial debut, and sure, he's been writing all these movies for years and years. But first time you direct, you don't want it to be like that closing of the chapter kind of deal.
No, actually, you called it. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, 891 mil and change. Return of the King, or not Return of the King, Two Towers, 919 mil and change. Return of the King, 1.1 billion change.
So good, so good.
Global.
Okay, what if we're talking box office? Would like the Rocky franchise fit that maybe? Or did it die off by the end? I wasn't alive.
I would say, off the top of my head, that might have been true up until 4, but not past 4.
Yeah, okay. Because obviously, quality-wise, they differ and buffer further on you go.
Yes.
I don't know about the box office.
I mean, I just don't think there was that much demand for a Rocky movie when he put number 5 out. I mean, no, Brooke's right. The franchise in and of itself is fucking awesome. I mean, Rocky is a great franchise.
So cool. And Creed's really good, too. I like Creed's edition.
See, don't kill me. I still haven't watched any of the fucking Creed movies.
Okay,
I know I need to. And I know Michael B. Jordan is just amazing, but I still haven't gotten around to watching them.
Well, the first one, as much as I'd watch it for Michael B. Jordan, I'd watch it for Sly. I'm still, as much as I love Steven Spielberg's filmmaking abilities and Mark Rylance as an actor, and Bridge of Spies was a great movie. Mark Rylance is Mark Rylance. That's just a performance he's going to give, you know? I think Sly deserved that Oscar that year for supporting actor for Creed. It was just that good. Him particularly. And then Creed 2 was really good, too.
Did that one is Creed 3 the only one that is sans Stallone? Was that the one where like the whole shit happened?
And you feel it in like 2 spots. That's it. And they're very brief. But in both of those spots, you would have been like, okay, we need some Sly right here.
Oh. Speaking of Creed 3 reminds me, his co-star has his must appear physically date on the 13th of this month. So that's yet another event this month that pertains to our nerdy world.
At the what?
Michael B. Jordan's co-star in Creed 3, Mr. Majors.
Oh, okay. Yep. He's finally
He's got to appear in person on the 13th.
Okay.
Like, the judge mandated that. He's like, your ass in front of me on June 13th.
Because he's just been like zooming and
in
stuff.
Judgeese, he told him that, but that's basically what he told him.
Okay.
It's like, your ass in front of me June 13th. We'll see you.
Because the case has already started, right? And he's just been like zooming in and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they had this month. They had basically what amounts to a motion hearing earlier this month. The defense filed some motions. That was early May, and then the prosecution had like 2 weeks to respond to that, and then the defense had like another week to respond to the response. Everything had to be over, I think, by this Monday, though. Like, no one else can file any more shit. And then the judge is going to go over it all, and then Majors is going to appear before him on the 13th, and I think at that point we'll find out if it's going to trial or not. Oh, sweet Jesus, he's back. What's going on, unprofessionals?
Oh, wait. I just read the bottom one. Now I'm reading the top one. What? Oh, Sabersmith. Good point, though. Harry Potter has to be up in there with that franchise stuff we talked about. Yeah. That's actually a really good point. Don't know how that escaped. Yeah.
Because we hate Warner Brothers right now. That's why.
So what?
I said that's why, because it's associated with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers sucks balls right now.
They do. I mean, I like the Zaz. I'm where I am business minded. I like the Zaz, and he likes movies, so that's kind of the thing where I'm like, he might have some good stuff in the future, but he's pissing a lot of people off getting things set up. But hey, sometimes you got to knock some things down in a house before you can build it back up right, you know?
Yeah, there's, although there's definitely, to continue the metaphor, there was definitely some rotten studs in that motherfucker need to be slammed.
I hope he kind of reels it back in a little bit at a certain point, and
yes, yeah, it's at some point it is necessary to put down the sledge and just get out like a chisel or a pry bar or something a little less violent to deal with what you got to deal with.
Yeah,
let's face it. If he wasn't using it when he first walked in, if he wasn't using a sledge, he was using a fucking hatchet because shit.
Oh yeah. And it didn't just disappear with. It wasn't a very.
He's like the greatest content mass murderer of our time.
He rivals Netflix in his cancelability levels.
Yes. Netflix finally has competition.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. The only decision he made that I'm still kind of sad about, though, was maybe not the only one, but the biggest one was. I know it sounds dumb, but I love Scooby-Doo, and I actually did enjoy Scoob, and the fact that they had Scoob 2 literally written, and it wasn't necessarily the Scooby aspect of things, like the whole gang aspect of things that I enjoyed. I'm changing. We're sitting down. You've
been standing this whole time, you psycho?
I've sat in 3 plays a day. I just needed to stand for a little bit and had to drive.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I can feel that. Well, I mean, I'm fat and lazy.
Well, I used to be that way. Then I moved out here, and literally the first words I heard whenever, like, my mentor / the playwright guy that I'm producing a play for right now, when I first moved out here, I weighed 250 pounds, 240 pounds, and the first thing he said was, "Get fatter and funnier, or lose it all." And I was like, "Oh shit, welcome to Hollywood, great."
I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of people joke about it, but that motherfucking that's kill or be killed in that motherfucker.
Legit. There was no way I could get work at the time. It was just relegated to background stuff because you're not unique enough in any way. It's just kind of like you're that middling guy. Like you could be the chubby best friend or something, and that's your role.
Right.
Like, oh, fun.
If you can't get to Farley levels, you better get on a treadmill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Farley or Jonah Hill. Like Jonah Hill in Superbad was kind of like what what that kind of like thing they want you to be is, and just like
I was disappointed in that movie. I thought it was going to be funnier than it was.
Superbad. I love Superbad.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying I anticipated laughing a lot more than I actually laughed.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad we have it because comedy is not what it was.
No, that's true.
It's at least it's one of the not diamonds in the rough, but since then it's just kind of it's been going downhill.
The king of big man comedy is and forever will be John motherfucking Candy.
Oh yeah. Okay. I thought you were about to start talking about Burt Kreischer and the Machine, and I was like, yeah. But if we're talking about the king,
I'm talking about the OG big man.
It's Uncle Buck. It is
Fucking
Uncle Buck.
Yes. I loved that movie. I have loved that movie since the first time I saw it when I was younger. I think junior high-ish or upper
My
elementary.
dad showed it to me at like 8 or 9, 10, because I just loved John Candy when I was younger. My first two film memories, my very first film memory, which is I think why I just love all the nerdy stuff I love, is Gollum at the beginning of Return of the King. So that's just kind of that terrified me as a child, and it's just like that thing that imprinted itself. But
yeah, I can see that.
There's that, and then the other end of that is the bald-headed bear, the bald-headed and butted bear at the end of Great Outdoors. Those
yes,
that is I guess,
that bear literally put me off the couch. I was laughing so fucking hard.
I still can't watch that without crying and laughing. There's because it just brings back memories of every other time I've just literally fallen off of couches. My little sister and I fallen off of couches. My parents doing it with us. We're just dying. It's so good.
Just thinking about it makes my chest hurt in joy. Like literally.
Legitimately. Dan Aykroyd too. It's just perfect. And Annette Bening plays his freaking wife in there. And she's only become like insane since then. Just acting wise, what she's done. Oh my god. It's so great.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
Man. John Candy.
So you know what killed him, right?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
A took.
Huh?
A took.
A took?
The film script. A took.
Okay.
It's what killed him, Farley, and Belushi. Bum bum bum. This is when we get into like Jamie's like what was it? The old Mystery Channel, the conspiracy stuff. Plain Strange and fucking amazing. But no, it's a horror movie. I don't know if it's a horror comedy, but they needed someone comedic to be in the role, and they wanted like a comedic big funny guy. So John Candy took the role, passed away before it could start filming, maybe during like the very beginning stages of filming. And then I think it was it Belushi or Farley that died next? I think it was Belushi, right? I might have that backwards. Whichever.
Belushi went first out of those guys. I'm pretty sure. You're talking John Belushi, right?
Because Jim Belushi's still alive and growing plenty of old cannabis around here.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, like Blues Brothers Belushi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he totally went first.
But before Candy.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Pretty sure. Are you Googling?
Oh, wow. Michael Donahue and Phil Hartman are also credited as dying in a took or from a took. I'm like, but it's I'll look it up in a second. But I guess a took itself though, it's a film script that's supposed to be like a horror movie that has like comedy bits and pieces, or needed a comedic funny man to be front it. And they all three signed up, and they all three, as they started like production, pre-production and production, and they just after Farley, or I think Farley was last. So after Farley passed, they were like, we're not doing this. This thing keeps killing people. So now there's like, it's one of those things that is in development hell, like in perpetuity.
Right.
Just there. It's like the script, anybody can come pick it up. You can take it. It's not been made. It's not been produced, but it kills people. We'll see. Maybe one day, maybe not.
It's like it creates an evil cholesterol demon.
Yeah, it's like what whose soul did you have to sell to write this script that keeps killing people? Like, what's going on there? It's like, was this around the same time Brando died? Like, I don't know. Like,
And like literally one of the leading comedic geniuses of their each individual era.
Yeah, literally, just
which is like
1, 2, 3, yeah.
70s, 80s, 90s, Belushi 70s, Candy 80s, Farley 90s.
And it took him.
That's
part of me would
wild.
love to see that script made, but also I don't want anybody else to die. I'm not sure if they've ever actually released the entire script either.
Right.
Okay, so it says, it does have a description. It says a Took was to be the son of an Inuit woman and a missionary who dreams of seeing the world outside of the Inuit territory of Alaska. He sees his chance when a beautiful documentarian named Michelle Ross and her crew arrive to the village he lives in. And that sounds more comedy than horror, you know. But
well, maybe they're going to throw a little, 30 Days of Night in that motherfucker.
Maybe. I don't know, but
that definitely just sounds more like a comedy. Sure.
It's the killer script.
Maybe one of the camera crew is also like a ritual murderer or some shit.
Yeah, well, turns out someone that was just like really close to it is some insane serial killer that just kind of like figured out a way to make it look like, oh yeah, we can keep hiring big old guys and we'll find a way that big old guys die quickly, and that's what they did. I don't know.
Crazy.
It's always thrown me off. It's just kind of that one kind of really that took my Uncle Buck from me. That took that took it. Because I love Belushi too, but John Candy, man,
John Candy.
He's so good.
Don't get me wrong, I have much love for the Farley because thankfully there was not a lot of time between losing Candy and exploding off of SNL and shit. So
I remember the first time I watched Tommy Boy, my dad was like, "You're sitting down and watching this." We had like 3 friends over, and he was like, "This just hang out." I was like, "All right." Just so good.
That movie was. Oh, my ribs hurt so bad by the time that movie was over the first time I watched it.
When you get, that's the best thing. If a comedy movie, if you come out of it feeling like you just exercised, that means it was good. That means it was damn good. I'm really hoping that we just looked it up earlier. I can't even remember what it was called, but the Jennifer Lawrence one, that looks really funny too. I'm hoping it is.
Oh, the new one?
Uh-huh.
That she's doing? Fuck, what is that called? I can't remember.
I got IMDb right here. Oh, maybe I don't. Where did I pull that up earlier? Oh, I had it on Regal on my phone. Maybe it's still right there. No Hard Feelings. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
No Hard Feelings. The Machine, I still haven't seen About My Father, but The Machine was legitimately a really funny movie. And it was good. It wasn't.
That's the one with Luke Skywalker in it, right?
Oh, yeah. Luke Skywalker's Burt Kreischer's dad. And it's great. He does so well with he's not there a whole bunch. He's there for a good chunk, though. And he's literally, I guess, the probably second or third main character in it. And everything he does is very pertinent. And it really grounds the movie. He does well with grounding the movie while still allowing himself to be silly and shit.
Nice.
And it's all grounded. Every single time you hear any Russian person up, they're like, there's no shit, complete serious, no nonsense, like how Russians tend to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it is grounded in every way it needs to be. It's legit. I haven't seen About My Father, but I hope it's okay.
I'll just let you enjoy that one real quick.
Breaking news. Oh, God. God, Bikini Bottom is doomed.
That's that guy's stupid stuff with unprofessionals. He's always creative when he pops in.
How could SpongeBob survive this? He can absorb things, right? So can he just like absorb his blood back in after he like loses it? Does he have blood?
It'd be diluted by seawater.
That too. So you would be absorbing
Or that someone could spike like just the general areas, and so when he draws his blood back in, he also draws in some kind of, well, he's a sponge. So some kind of acid that eats away like, spongy materials.
Oh. Oh God, what were the supervillains? Oh, Hogwarts Legacy is also a really good game. I don't know. After Survivor was such a good game, it would make me not like Hogwarts as much. Maybe, but I played Hogwarts Legacy for 5 days when it came out, and I beat it in 5 days, and it was worth every single moment. And I do go back and check out the magical animals every now and then. It's great.
Yeah, I watched a couple different people stream Hogwarts, and it definitely looked dope.
It was cool. The flying part was just so much fun. The fighting's a little bit repetitive. Also, like this, so Stupid Stuff with Unprofessionals eats his shirt. Please. I'm intrigued now. So, if he's a sponge and this is the case that happened, technically he'd be perfectly fine because he could just fall off the cliff and the sponges regrow. So he's fine. He's only critical for the time being, I believe. But Patrick, you said Patrick's dead. So, sorry, Patty.
One last little and farewell.
Little, as he fucking just dies. That's your last word. Honestly, though, someone from my generation, I guarantee you that'll be someone's last words, which is bad.
That's funny.
We got to.
Ladle.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Oscar Isaac kicked ass as fucking 2099 though. Like, he was so intense. It was great.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I was reading the Kashyyyk.
I said Oscar Isaac kicked ass as 2099 though.
Oh yeah. We literally got so far off the Spider-Man talk, just starting from Marvel, but
yeah.
We ended up with John Candy and Belushi getting killed.
Dude, there are solid reasons behind the name I chose. And because if you think about it, every conversation you've pretty much ever had in a basement never stayed on topic for more than a few minutes at a time.
No. We wrote back around, but
yeah, we worked back to it, and we just took our time about it, and it was cool because it was all fun chatting. So, like I said, there's actual logic behind my channel name choice.
Yes, and I was joking, by the way. Stupid Stuff with Unprofessionals. I was adding logic to your joke to make it continued. It's comedy. I don't know. Watch Kill Tony on Mondays, and maybe you could learn a little bit more.
He was playing the straight man role.
Yes,
as it's called in comedy.
Uh-huh. Sarah is great. But
I know what part he's talking about.
Did you play him? Did you play Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor?
Me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. Well, I take that back. I made it off the first planet in Fallen Order. I landed on Dathomir and got slaughtered by crabs. I don't think I've played it since, and I never played Survivor, but I've watched a lot of people stream Survivor. So
okay, because I love me Star Wars. You know how much I love Star Wars. Fallen Order is. I'm not a big fan of it, and I'm not a fan of it, but it's just I'm not a big fan of like that Soulsborne type of game where it's like, okay, make each enemy harder and harder. I mean, yes, make each enemy harder and harder and harder, but you don't want to make it where like okay, it took like it's not. I'm not one of the people that are gonna go play those games where like you see the YouTuber that is like, I just took me 15 days to beat this guy on normal level. Now I'm gonna try it on boss level, and it's like, why would you want to do that when it took you 15 days to beat the one character the first time?
I think like my Madden and my golf game is the only ones I don't play on the easiest level. Basically, well, number one, I don't have great hand-eye, so I'm not good at video games in the first place.
Right.
And number two, I don't want to be I don't want to be stuck on. I want to move through the story. Like I don't want to be stuck on something for like hours, much less days. So I always
it loses its joy.
Easy and go through the story so I can see the story.
Survivor though, check it out. I think you could still play it without. If you know the story of Fallen Order, you're fine playing it. And I would play Survivor on story mode if I were you. Padawan if you want to fuck around a little bit, but if you just want to get the story and actually have a good time, it would make that would have made a great TV show. I'm just saying, but
right.
It's really really good. It's really good.
You know, the only thing is like the obstacle course nature of it. Like even when I was watching people play it, I was like, Jesus, he's got to fucking cross another set of monkey bars. Like,
it's a lot.
It was like kind of like Tomb Raider plus Uncharted and then lightsabers.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way of saying it. It's like that with lightsabers and guns, which is fun.
And gun, yes.
You finally
don't get me wrong. Like a lot of the combat sequences are dope as fuck. Like just all the shit that you can do with them and all the different stances and weapon setups and stuff. It's sick. Like I watched 3 or 4 different people play it. I'd say 3 or 4 different ways of fucking Cal Kestis fighting him. Like, this is sick.
Yeah, no, like that was one of the best parts about it. I stuck to the one lightsaber and the pistol or the double lightsabers. But you can legitimately do it 4 different other ways, I think, or maybe 3 other ways. Hello there. While we're on the Star Wars saying, yes. Cooking Mama's Kitchen is elite, though. I agree with you, sarcastically and unsarcastically. But no, yeah, Survivors. You should check it out. Definitely check it out.
I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah,
I've got a PS4. Like I have no interest in getting a PS5 anytime soon. Like I want like a full tower PC before I want a PS5. Like straight up.
That makes sense.
I mean, this laptop's fine for what it is, but I need more processing power. I need multiple monitors. I need upgrades.
Yeah, no, I feel like we're all gonna have to have like fancy laptops and computers soon, just because everything takes so much processing power.
Yeah, it's insane. But
rightfully so for what we get.
Then again, I'm also a big fan of old school Tim Allen. And, he's always about more power.
You said old school Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Like cocaine dealing Tim Allen.
No, like right around the time he got his TV show, Tim Allen, when he was still doing his full-on adult comedy shows, and then like a couple seasons in, he's doing his full adult comedy shows, and he's looking down and people are bringing their kids because he's Tim the Tool Man Taylor. And then he's up on stage cussing his ass off with tools and rewiring shit. It's funny as fuck.
He's great. Yeah, Tim the Toolman Taylor. That entire show was one of my dad's favorites, and I'd watch.
Oh yeah, no, I loved that show when I was a kid.
My dad never watched. What is it? Last Man Standing is his current one. That's huge across Middle America, typically.
Yeah,
I feel like that's something that my Texas kind of family would love, but they just never watched it.
Yeah, I mean I saw enough commercials and stuff. I'm like, okay, it's just, it's a slightly reworked version of the show I liked when I was a kid.
That's what kept me from watching it. It just seems like the reworked version of an old show, which is cool, but there's a lot of those. The old.
How about, okay, wow, 2.5 hours. Let's go. But how about like the end? Like I knew going in it was gonna, like I knew it was kind of gonna be like a cliffhanger, but holy fuck!
Oh, Spiderverse end?
Yes, that was sick.
Like that's the thing. Like looking back at it, going to watch it again, I'm gonna have to like say mentally, like where's the climax in here? As I
have a good night, professionals.
I like to move it, little King Julian, But just the way it ended was like, because okay, the thing, if I go see it a second time, I'm gonna have to try to figure out where like the climax of this film happens, because it feels like the climax is literally like as they're getting on that rooftop, and it's like we got our team, and I'm like we're going, and then it cuts to the end. I'm like,
I feel like. I feel like it's evil Miles Morales.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is it like, because usually the climax is the big bombastic this or that, but they took it in the exact opposite direction.
But it worked though.
Yeah.
It worked so well. It worked so well.
So well. I mean, the second I heard Mahershala Ali's voice again, I just was just smiling from ear to ear. And then you kind of realize as he's talking, especially to Miles's mom in there, is like, this isn't the Prowler, And then you kind of put two and two together whenever he's like, where's your braids or whatever? And you're like, oh, this guy's going to fuck him up. Like, oh, no. Prowler doesn't ask that question. He just does, It's so good.
I can't wait to see, like, the way they ended it. It was almost like you think you know where this is going, but you have no clue. Which is like why I'm already excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse to come out next year. Because I'm like, I want to know now.
Like a year? Like I don't know if I could wait a year for that one. We waited so long between the first two, but like, ugh.
That's when you actually go get a physical copy of that motherfucker and just throw it in your fucking Blu-ray player and just leave it there. Just every once in a while, sit down and just play.
Hey, that's true. I just had a couple friends move from LA to Austin, surprise, and I inherited a Blu-ray DVD player from them. So yes, I might have to do this.
For sure.
I could have watched 4 more hours. They could have said, we're doing another 2 movies instead of 1. We're going to show them right now. And I would have just been...
Yeah, they could have done it with intermissions like, they did the 10 Commandments back in the day. Like where they literally had it... Like,
give me some Lonesome Dove style.
They literally did it like a stage production with intermissions between each act. So you knew when each act in the movie actually ended.
It's kind of like whenever they do Lonesome Dove in a theater, which is always crazy, but... I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm watching it, and like, really, the only way I knew was like actually I'd been there like a minute was because I started really having to go pee. But other than that, like, yeah, I could have gone another hour and wouldn't have even felt like 3 hours.
No,
that was
like the longest thing that the thing that feels the longest in the movie is the first act, and then literally once it picks up any kind of pace, you're just like, I'm here. I loved it.
Well, pretty much as soon as they started having to chase the Spot around is like when it really got going, and he started meeting, like when he followed Gwen.
Which it hurts me to say because I love Wes Anderson. You should go check out more Wes Anderson stuff because the guy that voices Spot is Jason Schwartzman, and he's in, I think, if he's not in every single Wes Anderson film, he's in 98% of them. And as much as I love Jason Schwartzman, that's not the type of movie that I would be like, oh yeah, let's put him as a villain, And
right.
he's not there a whole bunch, but he does perfect with everything he's given.
I enjoy Diablo.
I never played it. I played a bit of the third one, I think, but not much besides a bit.
I've played, I think, now, like, I haven't played all the way through. I've just played them. I think I've played some of Diablo 2. I know I've played some Diablo 3. And I've got the mobile version of Diablo on my phone that I've messed around with, and even that's pretty fun. So, I mean, yeah, Diablos they're fun games. And there's no like super deep. I mean, there's a story, but it's not like any kind of super deep storytelling like you get now. Like your survivors and shit. The story is nowhere near that deep, but it's a fun little story. It's a fun game to play.
Yeah, I was responding. I was like, interview from when? Like, huh?
Is that off his show, The Trouble or The Problem or whatever?
I forgot he has a whole new show. I haven't watched it at all.
I've seen a couple random interviews posted on YouTube that have come up, and when I first click on it, and they were fun to watch.
Jon Stewart's good. I don't love him, but he is consistently good.
I mean, he's good at what he does, and he is like just naturally so disarming. Then when he engages his brain, you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, you're like, where did you pull that from? And he'll tell you. Just give him a second.
No, I wouldn't. No
idea.
No. If I can figure it out and have fun with it, you'll be fine.
I saw that comment because I'm looking at I see the comment come up on my phone. And I was like, I lost the game and so have I. I was like, huh?
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't know what you're getting at, but thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I lack the context to figure out what the fuck you're talking about.
Maybe Diablo.
I dig the name though. That's like the kind of name. It's like the kind of name you'd give an angel in some spiritual work of fiction about like battles or some shit. Behold, I am Melchiel.
Yeah, Melchiel. It sounds very angelic. It sounds
like what they would name an angel in Supernatural.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say His Dark Materials. Similar, not that similar, but in the angels coming in, yeah.
It is the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, he does some fun interviews on that thing. I mean, I've only seen him a couple times randomly, but it's just like he injects his humor and like bitch slaps you with his brain at the exact same time, and it's so much fun to watch.
Which I love. The only person I feel like is still on the air that does that is Bill Maher, and he's not consistent with it either. He's just kind of, when it comes up, of course. But like,
it's kind of funny. Bill Maher's been like big and bombastic about his shit for like the longest time, but when it comes down to it, he wants to be Jon Stewart.
Probably. Like I just don't think there's anybody interviewing people anymore that's like legitimately just I want to watch them besides like Sean Evans. And it's not because I want to watch Sean Evans, it's because he does so much research before Hot Ones, and then he's like, let me throw you off with some hot sauce in the middle of it. He adds a gamifies it, but
nice.
There's not. I can't think of it.
I'm not familiar with like his stuff, so
all I've seen is Hot Ones, and Hot Ones is great. But
that's when they just like feed celebrities like the fucking ridiculous ghost pepper chips and all that kind of shit, right?
Well, it's chicken wings.
Wings with various hot sauces.
Yeah, 10 different hot sauces, inclining in levels. Like, but it's usually like it's during where like that star that's on there is like who's just on there? Julia Dreyfus was just on there, and I'm sure she's promoting whatever project she told us at the end. They always give you a little section at the end.
Right.
I don't remember what it
I'm
was.
hoping it's Thunderbolts.
She talked a little bit about Marvel. Because
Did she?
the thing about it is it's funny as hell, but the guy, the interviewer, where he's that straight man. He just his face doesn't move that much. He's not the most emotive himself, but he's an amazing interviewer, and he really delves into the people beforehand and like asks like deep cut questions. So they have to really think about it while they're getting their brains blasted with hot sauce. It just makes it.
I'm gonna have to watch a few of those for fun.
Hot Ones and Corridor. Those are two just fun, not background things, but like you got a couple minutes and you just want to smile on something, and that's it.
Right. That's dope. Super dope. Okay. I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm also starting to get tired.
Because what? You're 11:30, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Like if I'd have started at like say 7, I could still be going right now, like 4.5 hours later. I'd have started 2 hours earlier. No problem.
Yeah.
But I'm also 47 and it's getting late. And besides, I'm probably going to watch a movie after this, but I need to do it in my couch, not in this chair.
That's way to do it. See, that's I have these gaming chairs. You're just as good as I can sleep in these things.
This one's not bad, but like I have a fixed focus camera and my mic doesn't even reach over quite this far, so I'm stuck.
I lucked out. My old roommate and we went to Office Depot. I was like, it's not Home Depot. It's not one of them, Office Depot we went to. And we were just looking for cool chairs because I was like, I need a gaming chair. And motherfucker was more gaming like aspect. I'm not the biggest gamer in the world. But he's like, hey, you got to get one of these, and I got to go get myself one. And they came with like a 1-year warranty. Like if any scratch, anything happened, you get a whole new one and don't have to send the old one back.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
It just so happened my chair got scratched up a bunch because I got a bunch of people coming in and out of the house sitting on it all the time. So it got scratched up, and I was like, well, can I have one? And this one's much less scratched up than that one. So
nice.
Very good. Very
That's
good.
Cool. That's super cool.
Yeah. Handy.
Very handy. Okay. Time to go bye-bye. I don't know if I'm officially going to be on there tomorrow. Jay hasn't really said, but, if not, I'll probably be watching at least anyway.
I'm not sure. I bet you will be though, because I don't know if Matt didn't sound like he could be there later.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
Only other thing that could happen is Stormy decides to pop back in, but
right. What's up, Trin? Welcome in, Trin. You got here just in time to say goodnight.
Yeah, 2nd Street.
So.
She's Dinner Nerds member too, huh?
Oh yeah,
has been for a while. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, got the wrench on the live streams.
The what?
2nd Street Marvel's got the wrench.
The wrench. I thought you said the ranch. I was like ranch.
Yeah.
They're
got the blue wrench mod.
A mod. There we go. I was like Dev.
Yep.
That's not the right term.
Yes, sir. Yeesh. Unfortunately, you did get here in the closing moments. My apologies, but I do appreciate you stopping by a whole bunch. I really, really do. So, thank you for popping in, sir.
Of course.
You basically got an open invitation any Saturday night you're not out LAing.
I try not to be too much, but it just kind of happens,
I mean, there is a certain magnetism to the town, even when you know about all the bullshit too that's still there.
Oh, it's full of bullshit and it's full of bad shit, but it keeps you intrigued. It keeps you on your toes.
Yes, sir. So, one way or the other, we'll be communicating tomorrow.
Yes, I.
In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening, as it is not even 9 o'clock where you're at.
It's time to go out in LA, right? Technically, I did miss my own stream today, so
actually, you got
I'd have to do that.
You got what?
I missed my own stream this morning because I had to go do all my.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that post.
So I could start it in a little bit. I don't know. I'll debate it. I might do it. Tomorrow's. I don't want to push it back a week, but I might. It's a little late to do it. It's only 8:40. Well, now you're saying it's only 8:40. I know I'm in the same time zone. Sure, I could do it, but I don't know. Mental gymnastics. I mean,
from where I'm at, I started 20 minutes from your now is when I started.
Touche. Well, damn. Yeah, I just got to do a little research before I do anything, which it could.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah, you definitely want to appear more knowledgeable than I generally appear, even on my own stream. So.
Well, I'm just talking film news, which it's kind of I got to do it Monday anyway, so I might just push it back till next week. Sorry. Oops, that's my executive decision right there.
There you go.
Oops, being bad.
He has spoken.
I have spoken, but I haven't smoken, and that's crazy because I haven't yet to smoke today, and that's the longest I've gone.
At all? Like at all?
No, me?
Yeah.
No, which is crazy. I woke up at like 8:15, 8:30, and I just.
That's a good plan right there.
That's a great plan. I might replace it with a little greenery instead, though.
No, you just watched me knock down 2 of them motherfuckers.
Which would be, I should have grabbed, but I also haven't eaten today either, which is like if I get stoned on stream, I'm gonna just kind of knock out at that point, you know.
Hey, well, rock on. If that's what you need to be doing, then do it. And congratulations on it.
Yeah, it's good to take a break every now and then. I say that by being someone that doesn't take a break often, but
right, yeah. I mean, I've talked about a tolerance break repeatedly.
Tea breaks are great.
Somehow it never happens. Like I can count on one hand the number of times I've done a tolerance break in my life.
Oh, yeah. Since 14 years old, I think I've done 3, and 2 of them were for arrests. I can't get any more detail, but we'll leave it at that. And then the third one, I went to Africa for a month, and I was like, I'm not chancing this on a plane, so I'm chill.
Yeah, no, especially, I mean, it's bad enough across state lines. Now you're crossing a fucking ocean, bro.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to get arrested in Africa and have to spend all my money getting myself out of jail. Like,
that's fucking Interpol shit.
Yeah, it was negatory. I'm going to Africa again next year, so hopefully I can like sneak a pin or something. But I'm not gonna try too much, you know.
Yeah, I would.
Because it was really nice to be in like wild open frontier like that, and just kind of be mentally there, I guess, for the entire month. But at the same time,
did like cool animal sightings / like what'd you see? How close did you get? Did like something scare the fuck out of you? Just make it quick though.
While we were there,
I gotta know.
Oh,
like you see like lions, elephants, tigers, cool shit like that, hyenas or something. Was any of the cast of The Lion King past your vision?
Not in my vision, but we were tracked by lions for a little bit, and it was terrifying once we realized we were tracked by lions. I was there on safari. People on the internet don't really like all that much, but hunters are the best conservationists in the world, and I'll leave that at that. So we were going after some buffalo, and my dad was, and I was tagging along, and then so the way it is, because it's very different out there. You have like a team of people that go out. You got 2 professional hunters or a professional hunter, typically a tracker, and a couple other people, as well as every hunting, to make sure if you're hunting in the continent of Africa, you always have someone from the local government alongside you. And they're like the anti-poacher. And they're also to make sure hunters don't go do stupid things, which is always possible, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't happen, but always possible. But they're there to make sure that doesn't happen. And so you usually have like a team of 5 or 6 walking around. So it's 5 or 6 of us trying to be quiet. We were literally stalking these buffalo for about 4 or 5 hours. And we finally get to a point where, like, okay, we've been in this brush for a long time, brush country. They get out into the open to go feed and stuff. And we're like, okay, well, this is kind of a good spot. And then they look at us, and we're like, why are they looking at us? Like, we took all of our sitting off, you know. We're not here. At least we shouldn't be, to the buffalo. They were looking past us, and after we circled back, because after they looked at us, they all ran the other direction. We were like, well, shit, there we go. So we had to keep hunting. And that was after a week of searching for these guys, too. And it's very meticulous. You want to be very, like, pertinent about which one to choose, yada, yada, yada. So we were like, well, great. I guess we're going for tomorrow. And the professional hunter was like, that's something weird. That doesn't just happen. We started walking around, and we traced ourselves back, and there's like a lion. They've been following us, and we just see, we didn't smell them. The buffalo probably smelled them,
right?
And it just the hair on the back of your neck comes up. In our base camp, there was at night.
Right. Jeep me to the nearest city. Meow.
Yep. Oh, the harder thing, the crazier thing is you get up in some water or close up to the water and you go near those hippos.
Oh, no. Don't mess with hippos.
I love me some hippos.
Hippos will try and bite the shit out of you, though.
Oh, yeah. They won't try. They will, and they will take as much of your body as is in that vicinity. It's not what you'll let them. They'll just take it. It's
either that or they'll motor tail shit at you. One of the two.
Yeah. Or trample you down. They're insanely dangerous, but they're really cool.
Baby hippos were cute as fuck.
And I shouldn't say this on stream, but they're really good. They're the best. They made us pig in a blanket out of hippo while we were there. I don't know if I've ever had anything that good. And I'm a Southern food guy until the day I die. You know, like I know me some good food, and between kudu, puku, and some buffalo biltong, and then hippo steaks and hippo pig in a blanket were just.
That's crazy.
So good. Such an interesting and like different palette of food than we would even ever consider.
Oh yeah, sure.
And it's just so good. It's so tasty.
To 99% of us, hippos are just some shit we see on National Geographic.
Yeah, National Geographic or a zoo. It's really interesting to have that part, like to feel a hippo and to feel how thick their skin is, to see the process of the village, like taxidermy one and feed the whole village and do everything, and it's like literally the fat on it was yay big, like bigger than like whole fist. It was taller than it. They're so thick. They're tanks. It might just be a bunch of blubber, but it is a tank.
They're deceptively quick, at least in the water.
Well, they can run 40 miles an hour on land too. Wild.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat to be going that fast.
That's a lot of meat to be going that fast. And after the stream, I might show you a picture. I shouldn't show it on the stream, but
you can show me behind the scenes tomorrow.
All right. It'll give you a good view of how big a hippo actually is, because we have a picture of like 20 plus people standing behind this hippo, and it kind of covers the hippo.
Wow.
They're huge.
That's nuts.
It's a school bus just running at you.
Wow. All right. Well, on our next episode of Out of Africa.
All right. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson, but I could have been Craven. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah. See, I don't know if I'm gonna see that bitch in the theater, but shitting on DC is another discussion for another day, because it's literally going to be another day for me in 10 minutes.
Oh God. Well, Good night, but also
All right.
Craven and Sony. So we're scared because of their Morbius-y stuff. But
Yes.
hopefully it's good. I'll see it just for Aaron Taylor Johnson. But
that just real quick on that subject, I enjoyed his
the what?
I enjoyed his Quicksilver. That was kind of a shame.
Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson's awesome. He's someone the playwright that I just produced a play for, and he wrote a play for me last year. Yada yada. Mentor when I first moved out here. He knows Aaron Taylor Johnson pretty well. They're neighbors, and I'm just like, introduce me, man. Like right? When he's over, like text me. Like I'll come say howdy.
Invite me over for a barbecue, motherfucker.
Yeah, invite me over for a barbecue. I host them once a month. Give me an excuse to cook. I'm ready.
Right. I'll drop some genuine Texas shit on your fucking California.
Damn right. That's I have to Texify all these freaking Californians. I do a barbecue once a month, and it's like cookout style, I call it potluck for people out here, but bring a little extra, and we're all gonna eat good. We're all gonna hang out. It's a good time.
Yippers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you stream or whatever the hell it is you're gonna do. I'm gonna actually go take a lake and relax.
Yes.
Have a good night. You all have a good night. Thanks for hanging for a long ass time. As many of you as are still here, and as many of you as if you're still watching the replay too. On your way out, go ahead and drop a like if you haven't already, and of course, pretty please subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell, and so you know anytime I drop any of my chilling content. Please and thank you. And other than that, like I always say, have a good night, Eric. It's always a good time to be here when you're chilling in the basement. Have a good night. Y'all still here? Anybody still here? If you are, thank you very much. I hope you had a good time. I definitely did. Now I think I'm going to rewatch the fight night that I just talked through, literally. So thank you all again for being here and being in the chat, participating. I hope you all had a good time. And, but yeah, it's late, so I love you guys. Get the hell out of my basement, please and thank you. Have a great weekend.